magic that he did yesterday, but he's not the only person. We have 100 more players, and they all competed over 5 weeks of solo qualifiers. We have already awarded $6 million over the course of those qualifiers, and 40 million players competed to try to qualify for this day right now. Only 100 players remain.
And they're all fighting for their share of the $15 million prize pool. We've already given away $18 million between the creative and the duos competition yesterday, as well as the charity portion for the Pro-Am, and they all want to be in that top spot. First place walking away with $3 million in prize money, but for most of them, it's about the title. They want to be in the top spot. They want the clout. They want the recognition. They want to say, I am the ultimate Victor Royale.
So we're going to go ahead and join the players on the floor in the Arthur Ashe Stadium. They're ready. We're going to go ahead with our first group of contestants. It is Booga, Bizzle, Commandment, Vivid, Cease, Snow, Riverson, Leleo, and Dubs.
Now, these were the players who qualified out of NA East, NA West, and Brazil during the first week. The ones who rose to the occasion right away, cemented themselves in there, and didn't have to worry about it. And right away, how can you not call out the NA East Titans of Bizzle, Vivid, and Cease? Been around forever, and Cease, more importantly, we said he deserved more recognition. He was one of the best, and what did he do yesterday? Third place with Elevate. He's looking ready to go, but Dubs is also ready. Him and Mega had an incredible performance yesterday, and they're looking to represent on the stage.
So we'll see if he's going to be able to do that. Of course, at the top of the list is Booga. A lot of people are looking forward to see what he can do on a LAN environment in this stage. See if he can continue the performance he's had in the last couple of weeks. So we're going to continue, though. Dubs had we're going to check in with Jordan Fisher on the floor with Dubs.
Thank you so much, Fortnite family and fans. What's going on? I'm Jordan Fisher. I've got Dubs right there. Dubs, you placed consistently well during the qualifiers, wrangling a first, second, and sixth place finish over the course of 3 weeks of solos, and as well, let's go, and placed in the duos as well. Qualified for the duos. How does competing on this stage now compare to yesterday's games?
The energy is insane here, and like it's just the most amazing experience. I love Fortnite.
Fantastic. Well, a lot of people are really excited to see you play today. Now, you and your partner Mega did an incredible job yesterday. Did you guys see them play together yesterday? It was amazing. It was amazing. You placed 7th in the duos competition yesterday. Are you changing up your strategy at all to prepare for today's solo games?
No, I'll pretty much be doing the same strat, playing for late game, trying to get picks, and that's about it.
Great job. Love it. We can't wait to see. Bala, who's next?
Thank you so much,
Jordan Fisher. Appreciate that. Those are our NA East, NA West, and Brazil competition from the first week. We're going to keep moving forward into EU, Oceania, and Asia, starting with Stompy, Rizonero, Bella EU, Letwick, Nate, Diego, DRG, Slaya, Vaxbox, and at the end, Benji Fishy.
And another group that is very top-heavy. These were the players who took advantage of it right away. We got to see Stompy yesterday. Not necessarily the performance him and Shinken would have wanted, but he'll be coming out in force today. And then we also definitely need to talk about Vaxbox. His ability to turn heads, qualifying multiple times in the solos format, being so close to duos, and he has, if not the possible highest mechanical ceiling and rifling skills out of any of these solo players.
And then, of course, we also see Slaya down in the bottom middle there. He's been turning heads in the NA scene because he's been here boot camping for a couple of weeks, and he's made a number of clips in terms of his aim. He's one of the best mechanical players for aiming out of OCE. And at the end here, Benji Fishy, what more can you say about him? We're going to go ahead and take a look what his life is like back at home. At the end here, Benji Fishy, what more can you say about him? We're going to go ahead and take a look what his life is like back at home.
My name is Benji Fish. I'm 15 years old. I live in the UK. To master Fortnite, you've got to play a lot.
Benji Fishy trying to punish some of these players.
I'm definitely on par with pretty much every pro.
I love Benji Fish.
I'm very excited to go to the World Cup. It's definitely going to be one of the best things of my life. I'm very excited to go to the World Cup. It's definitely going to be one of the best things of my life.
Playing for his family, his mom, and trying to do everything he can to make an even bigger name for themselves. But speaking of bigger names for themselves, this next group has so many top titles, starting off there with Tfue, and then following up Unknown Army, Niddle, Funk, Solve, Clicks, Epic Whale, Harp, Lasers, and Kurtz. I mean, Baller. What can you say about these players?
A lot of huge names. Of course, we'll start with Tfue. The qualifying run he had in week number 3 was one of the most memorable moments out of the entire Fortnite World Cup Online Opens. And what a story it was in front of 250,000 people on a stream, no delay, just slayed out and qualified.
Was able to play very well in the LAN environment, has taken that title at TwitchCon. But let's not forget about somebody else who was there. We got Funk Bomb played yesterday on the stage and is looking to continue to hold it forward. Saw him as well, another player who is a big competitive veteran, from a mobile background, transitioning into Fortnite and showing his ability to break it down and push the meta farther. And then you have the two young warriors out of Clicks and Epic Whale, known for taking walls, taking names, and pressing forward, doing everything they can to stop their opponents.
Absolutely. Clicks, one of the players who has fully qualified for both solos and duos. And at the end, Kurtz out of Brazil. We're going to continue forward with him and go ahead and listen to some of the stuff he had preparing for ahead of the competition. We're going to continue forward with him and go ahead and listen to some of the stuff he had preparing for ahead of the competition. We're going to continue forward with him and go ahead and listen to some of the stuff he had preparing for.
When I play Fortnite, I change my personality. I play very aggressive. If you make a mistake, change my personality. You will be the victim. Easy, bro. My name is Kurtz. I'm 14 years old. My name in game is Kurtz. My name is Kurtz. I'm 14 years old. My name in game is Kurtz.
Well, easy, bro. I like that line most of all out of that entire package. That was amazing. We'll see if it is going to be easy, bro, today. Easy, going to continue forward, see who's on the floor. It is going to be Luki, Left Eye, Fleeter Moyes, T-Chub, Core Gaming, Wakey, Dementos, Banny, Takamura, Cat, and LOL Boom.
And another group loaded with talent. LOL Boom, in particular, the young Irish lad, qualified in the same week as his duo, Core Gaming. They didn't represent the duos competition. We got to interview both of them, and they're excited to be here, excited to represent not only for their countries, but also for their families. And then also looking up there, Left Eye and Dementos have been around the scene for a very long time, since the beginning, have that veteran experience, have been in so many of these very, very top-heavy lobbies. They are going to become beginning.
I'm also looking at Banny, who was Fox's duos from the previous Asian group, and he is one of the most aggressive players. He also plays tons of high ground, tries to look for tons of eliminations on the high ground. So we'll see how the Asian region and how he performs there with his strategy converts to this stage.
But can't forget about Takamura out of Japan, and then Cat coming from OCN at two players who are very aggressive. But we talked about LOL Boom, we talked about wanting to represent his family and what it means to him. Let's hear a little bit about that from him. But we talked about LOL Boom, we talked about wanting to represent his family and what it means to him. Let's hear a little bit about that.
Hi, my name is Lalboom. I'm originally from Philippines, but I live in Ireland, and I qualified for the solo Fortnite World Cup. Hi, my name is Lalboom. Every week was really intense. I didn't expect myself to qualify for the solos. It was just unbelievable. What I love about competitive Fortnite is the players around it. Everyone's so nice. Those people are really humble. I don't really feel any pressure on me. I just really focus on this moment and this tournament, and hopefully I do good and bring back home one of the best Fortnite players in the world. I'd like to thank my parents, my brothers especially, and also the viewers that stuck up to me and who are loyal to me, because they're like the only ones that supported me throughout this whole journey. And I'd just like to thank all of them.
It's so nice to see someone just so grateful to be in the position, but continue striving forward. Someone who's originally seen in the skirmishes, but now wants to perform on the main stage. On to our next group, representing out of NA East, NA West, and Brazil. We have Dracons, Road Shark, Colorful, Mega, Bucky, Class, Rux, Pizzas, and Saints.
I just want to talk about Bucky because I know we've talked about it a lot. I know we've talked about on broadcast that video of him qualifying, his dad in the background coaching him, and he's here today by himself. He has performed on the stage before back at the summer block party. He did quite well there and had a good time on the stage, so we'll see. That was a little bit of a less competition. It was for charity. This today is for $15 million total.
And he's going to want to be pushing the pace, particularly against players like this. Class extremely analytical, keeps a notebook with him at all times and wants to break down his opponent's interaction. We got to see a little bit from Rux and his baseball-playing grandfather during the pre-show. He has that competitive bones in his body. He was there every single week. And Mega, great performance again yesterday. Colorful, the one we got to interview on Mother's Day, and he was told, hey, I had to make a deal to even get playing time on the weekends, and now he's going to be on the main stage.
I also, going back to Mega real quick, because he had one of the most memorable moments from yesterday's games when he was playing with Dubs. We actually eliminated Nitro and Mongrel, one of the biggest duos in Fortnite in EU, and that was crazy to be able to do with that mechanical skill, the speed that he did it at.
And he barely even reacted. Now, one player, normally, Bala, you and I are very good about going through, breaking these down, knowing their stories. I know very little about Pizzas. It's so hard to find information on. We got to go through the VOD reviews, but he is somebody in one of the few true wild cards, and I'm very interested to see what happens when you run into him. And now we're going to actually get a chance to talk with Zay, who we saw him and Saf have an amazing performance yesterday. Let's see what he's feeling ahead of the competition. Jordan, what do you have for us?
You are not wrong, Sundown. One of the best and most dominant duo players standing right next to me in Zayd. Zayd, you dominated yesterday. It's very clear to absolutely everybody, claiming that #1 slot for 5 of the 6 games. Obviously, it's Fortnite, orange, it happens, right? But again, going into in-game, you two staying together, locking down high ground, that's ultimately what secured the dub. What was your mentality going into duos yesterday?
So we kept the same mentality, same strategies for every single game. After the 3 games, the 3 first games, we had 38 points, so we're really confident. So we didn't change anything. A lot of unfortunate things happened, so we finished with 6 points in the last 3 games, so we didn't change anything. After being first for 5 games in a row, we really want to win it, so we felt kind of bad, but still.
Understandable. I mean, at the end of the day, though, Fortnite, this is the biggest payouts, right? Like, we're seeing some amazing payouts here. 4th place is still very much a win, I would think, to a lot of people. Now, going into the solos tournaments today, obviously you've been performing very consistently over the course of the last year of Fortnite comps. You're faced up against a lot of incredibly talented players from regions all over the world, and there's a lot of different play styles here. What's your mentality going into some of these fights?
For solos, I'm going to play like I've been playing for the past year. I'm just going to be confident because I play best when I'm confident.
Absolutely. Well, we see this confidence. We're going to see it again today on Real Island. What do you have next for us?
I play best when I'm confident.
Thank you so much, Jordan. And what's surprising to me there is Zayd. I mean, it's not surprising at all, actually. He's a true competitor. He placed in 4th place yesterday, and he's very disappointed about that. You can see it on his face.
Definitely felt it wasn't good enough. He said, hey, we wanted it all. We wanted the top spot. With Zayd, we've seen it in the past. That means he's going forward. But now on to our next group, because these competitors are here to also challenge for the top spot. We have Link, Peter Pan, Letchi, Yarkos, Lucia, Mr. Savage, Snazy, Smeef, Blaster, and Issa.
The beginning of this group that you mentioned, Letchi, one of the most amazing controller players I've ever seen out of Germany, and he was so methodical and so good at the end game. It was unbelievable. The tunneling skills and able to be so aware. I can't be more impressed by Letchi.
Yes, and even in the qualification round, he said, hey, I got the spot. He was almost the first controller qualifier to get in, missed it by 1 place, and that next week when he came back to back solo trap eliminations to just flex on the entirety of Europe. Also rounding out the group, something we saw yesterday was Lucia. He's going to have the time to be on the stage as well as Mr. Savage. They're there. But let's talk about the other controller player making his first trip over here. It is Ghost Issa, the original controller gang, and we had a chance to talk with him ahead of the competition. Let's hear what he had to say. Ghost Issa, the original controller gang, and we had a chance to talk with him ahead of the competition.
So I qualified for solos in week 5. It's been 10 stressful weeks, a lot of ups and downs, but it's been pretty good. When I qualified, I was so happy. I had a rough 10 games. I think I played 5 games out and died like 4 times off spawn, so I was so happy when I qualified. I instantly called my mom and was like, hey, I qualified. I think it's nice that the open qualifiers, literally everyone can qualify. You can be 13 and win millions of dollars, and just everyone is really chill. New York is way different. Like even the air, everything is so much different. The traffic, but I love it. Meeting everyone has been the nicest part. My advice would be just keep grinding. That's how you get better. Watch better player play, like watch Mongrels, bots, whatever, and just keep grinding. That's the only way you can make it. Watch better player play, like watch Mongrels, bots, whatever, and just keep grinding. That's the only way you can make it.
What an incredible story coming out of Issa, looking to represent and looking to do as much damage as possible. You know he's here to take names. Now on to the next Issa, where you have a lot of what I would consider dark horse contenders. Very talented players you don't hear enough about. It's Nyx, King, Clarity G, Astonished, Lunez, Jenkins, Batch, Pika, Storm, and Reverse 2K.
I just want to point out, Astonish's outfit is unbelievably incredible. He has slippers on that have claws on them.
No, those aren't slippers. He's in a full onesie and then has the jersey over it. You can check him out on Twitter, also known for one of the coolest Flicknock plays we've ever seen, one of my favorite calls, but also have to talk about Nyx and King. They were both playing yesterday in the duels, didn't necessarily get the results they wanted, but they're both known as much stronger individual players. They play much better when they're able to go crazy and do the game plan that they want to do.
Yeah, and in the bottom right there, you see Storm, also known as 4DR Storm. He's one of the players who fully qualified for both solos and duos, and even with his duo partner, Epic Whale, later on. We do also have Reverse 2K on the bottom half of this group. He is on the floor with Jordan Fisher. What do you got? We do also have Reverse 2K.
Standing next to me is Reverse 2K, one of the most gifted mechanically in terms of his aim, his building sense, his speed, everything about his gameplay is one that I love and look up to personally, and I think for a lot of people here as well. Now, you've already told us that you're dropping Pressure, which is where you dropped in your qualifying week, which is a very smart move, I think, in my opinion. Now, are you planning on keeping a strict rotation schedule? Are you going to be able to be flexible?
I'm going to be able to flex more. I know Ninja and I do a spot in Lagoon, so that's my hometown, so we might drop there.
Very comfortable there. Mat up really quickly with some wood right there, those mats. Now, another thing that I love about you, Reverse, you're so vocal and so positive in social media, and a lot of people are supporting you and loving you, very much behind you in this journey. How does it feel to have so much support from Fortnite fans and others that are watching your streams and so forth?
It feels amazing. This Fortnite game is definitely a mental game. If you lose your mind, you're going to lose the game, so support helps.
Absolutely. Well, we love you, man. I'm excited to see you perform today. Bala, Sundown, who's next?
Thank you so much, Jordan. A lot of people from home rooting for Reverse 2K. He's made quite a fan base, and a lot of people supporting him. We're going to continue forward back in the stadium. We do have our next group, Hood J, Arius. We also have our one of Duo's champion from yesterday. It's Aqua, and then Martine, Roos, Robabs, Skylar, Kinstar, and Kinzel.
And we can't forget about Flexi and the X2 twins rounding out the group there, but all eyes are on Aqua, and deservedly so. Nyrox said yesterday, hey, we won because Aqua is a beast. Aqua in his interview said, we're just gonna win. And what did he say last night afterward? He's like, you know, might around, mess around, and win solos as well. He is about it, and he has that skill. But another player who has that very similar attitude is Eros, somebody who's a controller player, swapped over from console to PC, and I had one fan particularly reach out. He's like, hey, I watch him all the time. He doesn't care about anyone else. Whoever is going, he is flying at them. He wants to be known as one of the most skilled players out there, and then you have to talk about Keystone.
And at the bottom of that list there, we also have Flexi, who played yesterday in the duos competition. One of the actual fully qualified duos with his partner, Letwick, who's playing as well. He's just amazing. His qualifying run actually was one of the most mechanically skilled things I've ever seen, but also what a struggle it was. He had had so many setbacks in that week that he qualified that I almost thought that he wasn't going to make it. It was going to be one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen.
But he was able to clutch up in the end and get to a spot. He was seeing plenty of French representation coming out there. Of course, Keemstar been around from the very beginning, able to compete on the stage as well. Robob's up there, and then we have to talk about the X2 twins. Jordan representing down south, known originally as one of the first veterans out there. We're going to toss it to a quick little video to see kind of what they're all about and what they were thinking going into the competition. We're going to toss it to a quick little video to see kind of what they're all about and what they were thinking going into
I'm twins, and I'm from Brisbane, Australia. I've played LAN, I've played online, I've played the Australian Open, I've played at Poland internationally. I really like LANs. It's a different setting because there's people actually watching you as opposed to just people watching online. I think I'm definitely getting better with it with the more LANs I do. It's a different setting because it doesn't really sink in until you actually land here and you get here like, oh, I'm actually in New York. It is definitely a cool experience. I like to listen to music before I play and try and treat it as if I was at home just playing any other scrim. You've got to put work into it. Sometimes you might have to get a little bit lucky with like qualifying and stuff. Like that's a part of it, but you can create your own luck through grinding and just hard work. It's really cool meeting the people and like experiencing it with them and learning from each other. People that can keep their calm, they definitely come through. Experiencing it with them and learning from each other. People that can keep their calm, they definitely come through.
Jordan going to be doing everything he can to push forward and be at the top. And now we're into the qualifiers who qualified in the final week. The week 9 ones, the last chance qualifiers. When everything was on the line, they made it here. It's Clipnote, Cosmic, Tuzi, Aspect, Hornet, Trio, Legedian, Harrians, Evilmare, and Arcram 1X.
Clipnote, one of the players out of Brazil who, you know, he was there every single week, just in the top 10, not quite reaching that final top 1 spot, which is how many spots were up per week for Brazil, but he finally did it in the final week. That shows he is clutch.
Yes, the Argentinian was all about it, and we have to talk about Aspect. Him and Ana were the original favorites going into the qualifiers, kind of slid off the pace a little bit, had to swap off the drop spot. In the final week, he rocketed up in the lead with 60 points, but the issue was he finished his games early. Everyone else had an extra half hour. He had to sit there watching the leaderboard for an hour, but when all was said and done, he got the final spot. He'll be playing on that stage, and he'll be looking to take everyone's balls.
That 17 elimination game to qualify was definitely memorable from Aspect, but Arcram 1X also had a memorable performance yesterday in the dual finals. We're going to go ahead and catch up with him on the floor.
Dominant performance from Arcram for sure. Standing next to me here, another one of the most talented. I mean, I say this over and over again. It's because I'm surrounded by the best Fortnite players, literally in the entire world. Definitely one of them here, repping the NA West. Over there, a lot of psycho players. Now, Arcram, you qualified for the World Cup in the first week of duos and in the last week of solos. Your preparation for both of these things definitely is very different. How have you prepared in comparison to yesterday, claiming that 5th spot, which was unbelievable, guys? Preparing for solos today is very different. How have you strategized? Claiming that 5th spot, which was unbelievable.
I try to prepare my mentality a lot better than yesterday, and I know what it's going to be like going in today, other than like tomorrow, because yesterday was like my first time playing at a LAN. So I know what I have to do, and I know what I'm going to do to try to win today.
Absolutely. Well, that composure is everything, right? I mean, that can really help you dominate in that way. Now, again, repping NA West out there in LA for me. Listen, your qualification both in duos and solos, you're the only person from NA West that was able to do that. What do you have to say to the rest of the West?
I mean, like, if you guys get a brain on the West Coast, I mean, like, it'll be a lot easier, you know. Otherwise, yeah. That's all you gotta do. You guys get a brain on the West Coast.
Get a brain. Okay, I'm gonna come to Arcram School. Back to you guys on Unreal Island.
Otherwise, yeah. That's all you gotta do.
Oh, I might also go to Arcram School. That was definitely
you guys on Unreal Island.
Could say Galaxy Brain there from Arcram, you know, just get a brain going on there, looking to represent. But now the final group of competitors, it will be Sosman, Moffat, and Dretta, Crew, Light, Mongrel, MQ, Teak, Blacks, and Skype.
I like the little dab there from Blacks. Absolutely incredible. Again, remember, these are the guys who qualified in the final week. And I do have to point out, Andretta was one of the players who did so. What an amazing performance it was. One of the few players who was streaming his final week, and he did it in an amazing fashion.
Winning 3 out of his first 5 games. He actually took a moment after that on the stream, kind of you could see him deep breath in, deep breath out, and kind of know he had it. He kept pushing forward. We got to see yesterday, had some highlight reel plays, but wasn't quite able to push into the top 10. Going to want to do that today. But Bala, you know on this list who I want to talk about right now, right?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear it. What do you got for Mr. Mongrel himself?
Mongrel. What more? I mean, there's literally so much. I could talk about this guy forever. One of the most mechanically skilled players I have ever seen. So fast with his decisions, you really can't keep up. Sometimes I even have to watch him in slow motion because it's just so ridiculously fast.
And you can see his reactions on the camera, how much he cares, how much he is invested, how much he wants to be the best of the best, just as does Skype, the player from the stream, overcoming tendonitis in his wrist, qualifying through. We're going to throw it down to the floor with Jordan and a translator to catch up and hear what Skype has to say. Jordan, take it away.
Standing next to Skype here, dealing with tendonitis is a very, very big thing, especially ahead of a competition of this caliber. How have you prepared physically going into today?
Avec un concours de cette nature, il y a beaucoup évidemment d'ambition et de comment est-ce que vous gérez un peu la situation?
Je m'entraîne et j'essaie de ne pas stresser et je reste concentré en jouant.
I train, I try not to be too stressed out, and I just, think about the game.
Understood, as you should. Now, you have a lot of LAN experience and a lot of success in online tournaments as well. Your preparation for today, knowing that you're going up against a bunch of the best players in the world, regions all over the world, how are you strategizing for solos today?
Tu es un des meilleurs joueurs du monde, tu as beaucoup d'expérience, etc., mais en même temps, ça c'est une compétition nouvelle. Comment est-ce que tu t'es organisé pour la stratégie de cette Coupe du Monde?
J'essaie juste de jouer mon jeu, de ne pas stresser et j'essaie de m'adapter à la méta actuelle et voilà.
I try not to stress out, I try to sleep well, eat well, and I try to think how I'm going to really play the game.
Lovely, and that allows you composure, right? That you can dominate. Love it, Skype. Back to you guys at Unreal Island.
Think how I'm going to really play the game.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, Jordan and Skype. Skype originally known for his Winter Royale performance where he was top the qualifier, top the semifinal, and then top the final. It put him on the map, and now he's here competing on the main stage, which is set for everyone who is here. But all of you guys at home, make sure you're using Fortnite.com/watch. Go check the website out. It is a more kind of tailored viewing experience. There's the ability to unlock additional items in-game. And on top of that, for somebody who's super analytical, there's a map stream. There's an individual player stream. You want to see the spotlighted players, T4 dubs, they'll be on there. You want to see the best players from Asia, they'll be on there. Best players from Brazil, they'll be on there. Make sure you go and utilize this tool. Whether you're trying to get better at Fortnite or just want to watch what you want to watch, we want to give you every possible potential way to increase your viewing experience. And let us know if there's anything else you want added in there. We're always looking to improve because we're lining in stats. We got the map. I mean, what more can you want as an analyst, Paul?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely going to check it out when I get home. I'm going to go back and watch those because I need to see every little detail for some of these guys who are going to perform on this stage. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy, and I can't wait to do that.
I mean, this is what is going to allow these guys to push up into the prizing. I mean, just look at some of those numbers. Of course, everyone who made it here, $50,000 going through. But once you push into that top group, you'll start seeing a little bit of a pay bump. But ultimately, at the top, it's about the $3 million. It's about being the best of the world and being crowned the world champion solo baller. This is what it's all about.
This is what it's all about. We're moments away from getting inside the stage and getting ready to launch the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition.
100 of the best players, every single one is be here. Are you ready for the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's start the show! Are you ready for the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's start the show! Are you ready for the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's start the show! Are you ready for the Fortnite World Cup Finals? Let's start the show!
What's up, Fortnite World Cup? How we feeling today? Come on. What's up, Fortnite World Cup? How we feeling today? Come on. Let me see everybody's hands up. Come on. Put your hands up. Let me see everybody's hands up. Come on. How's everybody feeling today? Make some noise. If you know this, let me hear you sing it. Let's go. Hey, I work hard every month. Hey, 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 hey. I work hard every day. Today is my day. It's my day. And no matter what they say, it's my day. Hey, let me see those hands up, come on. Hey, let me see those hands up, come on. Yo, I just want to say thank you to Fortnite, thank you to Epic Games for having me out today. If you guys know this next song, let me hear you sing along. Let's go. I just want to say thank you to Fortnite, thank you to Epic Games for having me out today. If you guys know this next song, let me hear you sing along. Let's go.
Lately, I've been thinking. I want you to be happier. When the morning comes and we see what we've become. In the cold light of day, we're flaming the wind on the fire that won't be gone. Every argument, every word we can't take back. Cause with all that has happened, I think that we both know the way that the story ends.
Sing it if you know it.
Then only for a minute, I want to change my mind. Cause this just don't feel right to me. I want to raise your spirits. I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave. Lately, I've been thinking. I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. When the evening falls, I'm left there with my thoughts. And the image of me being someone else, well, it's eating me up inside. But we ran our course. We pretended we were okay. Now if we come together, at least we can swim far away from the wreck we made.
Come on.
Only for a minute, I want to change my mind. Cause this just don't feel right to me. I want to raise your spirits. I want to see you smile. No, that means I'll have to leave. No, that means I'll have to leave.
I want to see everybody's phone flashlights out right now. Everybody put your phones up right now. Put your phones up right now. Put them up. Everybody follow me like this. Let's go. Let's go. Players today competing. Have a good day. Thank you guys. Thank you again to Fortnite. Good luck to all the players today competing.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for Marshmallow! Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, I've opened up for a few DJs in my career, by far the best one. Hands down. Guys, this is incredible stuff here. I'm Golden Boy, your host, and this is the moment that we have been waiting for. 10 weeks have culminated to this point right here in New York City, Arthur Ashe Stadium, this packed house. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause for being here with us today. Without you, this is not possible. But now it's all about these players up on this stage, and this right here, the trophy and the title of being the Fortnite World Champion. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. I want to get into these games as soon as possible, but I think we got to ramp up the excitement just a little bit more. I want to get into these games as soon as possible, but I think we got to ramp up the excitement just a little bit more.
No guts, no glory. I'm a one-man army, in a one-man army. Ain't a weapon full against me, and you already know the rest, so you know your best ain't gonna stress me. And you the best, I'm the next thing. You can do it too.
When you think about what's at stake here for these players, so much on the line, and we crowned 2 Fortnite World Champions yesterday, but that was duos competition, and today these people are riding solo, and it's about that trophy, being able to raise this right in front of everyone here in New York City and walking away with $3 million in prizes. History will be made, lives will change. Now, I know that you guys want to hear from some of our players as well. There's one player in particular that I think each and every person in this arena wants to hear from. Jordan, who do you got?
The legend, the legend, the man, the myth. T2! The legend, the man. I want my vest back, by the way. Guys, standing next to me, I mean, you guys know him. He needs no introduction. He's pretty decent at the game of Fortnite. He's like fine, I guess. I don't know, 1v1 me and creative. We'll see what happens, right? But knowing that you're as good as you are, right, and your skills, your gifts, your game sense, your speed, your dexterity, your precision, all of these things that I'm sure a lot of people are very fearful of, there are a lot of incredibly young, gifted talents that are up here on the stage right now from all over the world. How do you prepare for all of these different game styles?
Basically, how I prepare is just stream to all of my beautiful viewers, and you know, they stream snipe me, and I get rushed by like 30 people every game. So if I can handle that, then I can handle anything, right?
I have seen it happen in real time. It's insane. I don't know how you deal. I mean, you got a long way, to get to the end, but obviously vying for that #1 slot. How was your strategy working out going into your drop spot today? Your rotation, are you going to be flexible? What are your thought processes going into today, knowing that you're up against some of the best players in the world?
My drop spot's pretty good, I have some people contest me, but I just lay them out and then move on from there.
Lay them out, move on.
Pretty good, I have some people contest me, but
355, there it is, from the man himself. Back to you, GB. Lay them out, move on.
Thank you once again, Jordan, for that. Now we're going to get into the games in a few moments here. Yesterday we hyped up nicely, and I think we can do it again. This is it. This is for this community right here, whether you're watching them at home, whether you're here with us in New York City, ladies and gentlemen, in the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Let me hear you. No. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear you loud and proud. This is the Fortnite World Cup Finals, and let's send it over to your casters for the first set of games. It's Courage and Dr. Lupo.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. The Fortnite World Cup Finals solos competition kicks off today, and I could not be more excited. I'm still sweating from the marshmallow performance we just saw, but
absolutely,
Dr. Lupo, this is going to be a darn good time.
100 of the best solo players the world has ever seen in Fortnite are today playing for $15 million in jack. First place takes home $3 million, which is the largest individual prize for any player in esports ever up until this point. You realize that? That is ridiculous.
It's a pretty long history. Lives will be changed today, as we know. It's been happening throughout the weekend, and we've seen the best competitors in the world go up in creative, obviously in the pro-am, in the solos or duos competition, and now it is time for solos. We're going to go through the format, the prizing for everyone at home so you can get caught up to speed. Millions tuned in throughout the weekend so far, and even more we'll be watching here today. So Ben, I want to break down these rules for everyone at home. It's not your normal Fortnite game we're going to be playing.
Oh no, it is not, especially if you've watched any competitive gameplay over the past. On your screen right now is the format. This is solo, so the top 25 placement will get you 3 placement points, top 15 is 5. If you make it all the way to top 5, that's 7 points, and that coveted victory royale, of which there will only be 6 today, is worth 10 points. But on top of that, it's not just about placement. Every single elimination is an additional point. Those are going to add up, and we'll see exactly how things play out in 6 games. Those 6 games, we had those scores up. Jack, what's the take home? I know, just read it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, first place today wins $3 million US. If you get second, third, or fourth, your prize money you're winning is also above the 1 million mark. Hey, I wouldn't be too upset with 5th place either at 900 grand, but you see, top 20 all earn $112,500 or more. And guess what? Just because they made it here today, everyone on the stage will win $50,000 for their efforts across the last few months of competition. But I can tell you the prize money is sweet. It's great going up against the best in the world, but that right there, the coveted trophy on your screen and the title of Fortnite World Champion, the first ever solo world champion, is what's on all these players' mind.
You have to remember, too, over the course of the 10 weeks of qualifiers, we had 40 million players throw their name in the pot to try and make their way to the top 100 here in New York City. And of those 100, only one gets first place. Only one takes home the trophy. And I'm going to say this is mine just from watching him play over the last few days. Duos didn't go exactly how he wanted things to go, but I'm looking forward to seeing Benji Fishy rise above and just put on a good show for everybody. He's an excellent player, one of the best mechanically we've ever seen. His awareness is insane. What about you? Who do you have, Jack?
There's so many talented players. We've been comparing drop spots. We've been comparing how they performed yesterday. We talked about LAN experience and how much the nerves against them. Arkroom is someone that showed up yesterday on stage, performed quite well, placing in the top 5. I think that today, with where he's dropped at, who he's going to be going up against, he could put on a good showing, but we want to hear your guys' thoughts as well. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Send us your thoughts. Who do you predict to win? We've also talked to many of the people here in the venue about who they've got coming out on top. Let's take a look. Send us your thoughts. Who do you predict to win? We've also talked to many of the people here in the venue about who they've got coming out
My prediction for the Fortnite Solo World Cup Finals winner is Ghost Bizzle.
My picks to win solos, it's gotta be this guy. Better.
I feel like Young Calculator or Clicks is gonna win.
I want to see Benji Fish take it them solos.
Tifu's gonna win. Tifu's gonna win.
It's gonna be between Clicks and Tifu, so it's gonna be Clicks though.
Probably Bizzle, because he has the most experience.
I think Bizzle has a good chance.
En
solo, je dirais Booga.
Tifu's gonna win.
Fact Fox.
Je pense que l'Aspe, c'est Belgique qui va gagner.
Bizzle is just the most consistent player, and he's at the top right now, so I'd say Bizzle.
I'd probably say Bizzle too, because he has a lot of LAN experience and all that.
My prediction for the Solo World Cup champion is Dove.
I'd probably say Bizzle too, because he has a lot of LAN experience.
My prediction for the Solo World Cup champion is Dove.
I'd probably say Bizzle too, because he has a lot of
People continuing to pile on in here to the Arthur Ashe Stadium live from New York City. Dr. Lupo, our games are almost ready to kick things off, but there's so many ways you can watch this weekend on these normal streaming platforms, but a new initiative as well from Fortnite, a new way to watch on Fortnite.com/watch. There's some unique stats as well as all sorts of feeds you can watch from. It's a viewing experience with real-time stats at different points of view in game. Head to Fortnite.com/watch and choose from this channel a dedicated map channel and 10 rotating options covering a selection of diverse players. You see there on your screen exactly who will be brought on up. If you want, feed 3 features Tifu, a player spotlight. If you're repping the Oceania region and you want to see the Twins play, there you go. You've got your dedicated feed as well. An awesome thing to see for the future of competitive.
It's absolutely amazing. But Jack, everybody here wants to see the first game, and I've got good news. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition is about to begin. If you are here at Arthur Ashe Stadium, I need you to get as loud as you possibly can. 100 of the best players in the entire world are about to face off for $15 million. Jack, guess what? 100 players, the battle bus is loaded, 6, 5, 4, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The battle bus is loaded, 6, 5, 4, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Game 1 of 6 officially underway, and on your screen, all 100 players. Arguably the biggest day of their entire lives. The average age of competitors, just 16 years old. If you're a younger fan here in the audience, you dream of one day being here. If you're the same age, you look to your peers as people to look up to and aspire to be as good as one day. If you're a parent, I'm sure you can imagine what's going through these kids' minds. Here we go, folks. Tifu on your screen. Block has been his place forever, Dr. Lupo, and he is not shying away here in game number 1.
I had a chance earlier during warm-ups to just talk to Tifu about this landing zone. The opinion was basically, I don't care who else lands here, I'm going to take it. I'm going to clear out every other opponent there and roll on through. He's got a chance to go up the hill potentially for ballers. Wow. Those remain uncontested. He has a free legendary chest right here in the middle. And look at the inventory already. Blue pump shotgun, gold tactical AR, gold standard AR, mini bandages. He's got brick for days here. The resources are incredible. A loadout already. He just needs some mobility. Maybe drop one of the ARs depending on ammunition at a certain point. Find some shadow bombs. Even the redeploy might be worth it. We'll see if he swaps out. He actually puts down that tac AR and grabs a purple grenade launcher.
And the zone right there as well. The only one other player landing here, that's Clipnode. So it's going to be Tifu versus Clipnode for control of the block, unless Clipnode decides to say,
rotate away.
I've got a lot of respect for that gameplay. He knows block as well. Clipnode always landing here too. Will go ahead and fall away. And folks, I think as a sign of respect for Tifu as a player, they have forfeited the rest of block to this man, as he's already at 190 total HP and a fantastic inventory. They have rotating here towards Fatal Fields. Class on your screen. Bucky there as well. Class and a fantastic with a little bit of a mixed inventory, but this is what we talked about yesterday. If you play Fortnite, you know that in the Fatal Fields core maze, there is. Blue? Well, guess what?
Just floor spots. All
Typically, you and I'm sure, Ben, break all the corn down. We farm it on up. These players know the exact route of where the loot is while it's hidden in the corn because they've studied this area of the map so much. It's the little things that make the biggest differences. Class right now looting, and no one has any clue where he is.
The long bar, grabbing this 2 chest spawn here, plus any of the floor loot possible along the way. Little side stalls, so quite a bit of wood to farm up. He's got a couple little forests. He's got the Fortnite quarry there, plus the ship up top. He can take that slip all the way to the top. He's got an opportunity to travel basically uncontested early game, unless somebody maybe gets a couple shots from distance. Meanwhile, up here at Mega Mall, Pika and Clean Star hanging out inside the shops. Quite a few chests, a lot of verticality inside. Tends to lead to audio-based fights and try and figure out whether your opponent is above or below and how much these players play. If they're keen on those audio cues, they'll know almost immediately is above or below and how much they have a lucky landing.
Stacey there as well. First Stink Bomb coming on through, doesn't actually wind up connecting with too much. 16 builds in total. Now remember, we do play with siphon settings on, so if you get an elimination, you earn 50 HP. So if you're at 74 total health, you'll gain 26 HP to go to max and 24 shield. Also, when you get the elimination, even if the opponent has 0 materials, they'll still drop 50 of each material type. So there's a lot of, especially early game reward, Dr. Lupo, in securing some of these eliminations.
Now, Snazy right now with the top down on his opponent, it looked like he's trying to use the stinks and that proximity grenade launcher just to try and find even one hit, which at this point was such low ammunition. He's out of stinks now. He still has the 3 proximity grenade launcher shots. He's kind of burning through resources.
I was going to say, he sees those grenades. I was thinking exactly that. Yep.
Trying to find a beat at this point. He knows based on the audio. Bugga is rotating back and forth in this little brick tunnel underneath. No tags quite yet. Minus a little bit of HP with the stink earlier. Snazy still has the high ground here. Not a ton of materials, 18 builds. At some point, he's going to have to opt to either push this or rotate away, and now might be the time to rotate away unless Bugga's going to push from behind. We'll see here.
Oh, wait, actually,
not even never mind. He already has a gold combat number 4 slot there. We'll see here. Easy Bugga separating from each other a little bit, not necessarily pressuring. Early game pressure at game 1 of 6 of the World Cup solos would be could be pretty advantageous to get that siphon or shot, the heavy snipe. Work goes, and not quite enough. Bugga misses just behind as Snazy sneaks away. Higher floors that north side building.
Yeah, Bugga winds up seeing that middle cherry blossom tree get knocked down, and a lot of times in competitive games, players will just hit the trees down to 50 total HP left, but they will fully remove them from the map because the animation of the tree breaking gives away your position. So if you want to make sure you stay a little bit more hidden in your games at home, only break trees down to 50 total health left and leave them. You'll get a ton of materials, but you'll also still remain as hidden as possible. Benji Fishy, a player with very high expectations for not only himself, but for the community here this weekend. Did play yesterday, I believe placed 14th with his duo, Mr. Savage. The first stink bomb comes on through, and with that damage, it looks like Benji Fishy wants a fight, but unfortunately does take 50 immediately from the back, and will go ahead and just give up his position.
A little bit of frustration on his face. Can't blame him. Shots push a little bit on Nate right there. Pleasant Park still inside the safe zone, so moving away from this doesn't have to happen just yet. We'll see. Nate takes an opportunity, rotates all the way across to that treehouse building in the southwest corner. Meanwhile, southwest of the entire map, through not alone down here. A little bit of a build fight back and forth, and they are not inside the zone. 91 players remain right now. Only 9 have gone down. It's early in the game. It's going to stay very, very high in the player count. Crew maybe waiting to see if that edit comes through. Doesn't quite. It's early in the game. It's going to Storm waiting inside. We see this all the time. Just holding the edit inside the pyramid. He doesn't want to step out, potentially get shot. Rotate back down underneath and maybe check his other sides. Meanwhile, King and Wiki in a 1v1. King on the defensive at this point. He might have the high ground. Oh my gosh! Sneaks the shotgun shot in right before the ram can go down.
Oh no! Okay. Oh okay. No. And you see King a little bit of a smirk right there yesterday when we had a little bit of a, maybe I guess you could say trash talk in the game. It was Skeptic who winds up going down to Mongrel Nitro. This time I think King will live to see another fight, but ooh, I like some of this little spiciness to kick off game number 1. He wins that fight with a quick wall retake and edit on some of this. Over to Neo Tilted, Creo, Hornet, and Clicks. Currently within a couple buildings of each other. You see on your screen in the backside, Lecce, over to Neo Tilted, Baugh, and Mongrel still there as well.
Flutter noise rotating. Sure looks like a ball on the backside. Real quick, put the replay up of exactly how that played out. Storm here inside that box just moments ago. Oh, full send into the air and does catch the shots there. The burst SMG proving useful even midair.
First SMG, probably not the exact item the players want, but still making use of it. Uh-oh, it's a corn fight. Dr. Lupo, you're used to this in Nebraska, as right now we've got
like
Rogue
home for me,
Shark.
Jack.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you've got a ton of skill in this one. As we see Rogue Shark currently dropping down the bandage for the moment. Already the ramp goes through, and Rogue Shark just wasn't ready for it, so he didn't catch what happened right there, Dr. Lupo. Quick little breakdown. The campfire was placed, he lost control of his wall, but because he had no pyramid inside his box, the opponent placed a ramp and then edited past the ramp for extra cover. It's one of the fastest but most effective ways to take out an opponent when they're inside their 1-by-1. Left Eye did just get an elimination. Does use that shockwave to get away from E-routes, but solid start as well, and I believe I did just see a fan favorite in Vivid in the elimination feed picking up his first elim. Solid start as well, and I believe I did
56 seconds, my apologies, before the next circle closes, and it is a big crunch to the center of the map. You might not be able to see in the bottom right there, but folks, it is just northeast centered from Neo Tilted. Everyone is going to get pushed together into the city. See here, folks, it is just Dubs center play, trying to push from the outside of Flint, knock his opponent to rotate away, and Dubs does not want to let them go. 46 back-to-back hits, and he can't find a bead on Evil Mare. Goes down out here, Greasy Grove, Ice
And you see Evil Mare still just in total about 80 HP. Got the 50 back for the elimination, so when you calculate it, really only had about 30 health left. So Dubs so close, but not able to connect with that final combat shotgun shot. And Dr. Lupo, look at this inventory for Riverson for Team Liquid. 6 shockwave grenades, 2 minis, 3 chug splashes, a launch pad. Weapons a little bit awkward, if I'm going to be honest. Just a scoped assault rifle and a epic tactical shotgun. But Storm Surge is coming to play, and Dr. Lupo, we haven't really touched on that yet today. Inform the viewers at home as to exactly what the shot.
So Storm Surge is a mechanic to prevent players from potentially sitting and not engaging in fights. If there are a certain number of players at this point, when there's over 70 when the circle closes, people are going to start to take 25 damage every tick. That's every 5 seconds, unless they are over the threshold for the amount of damage done in the lobby. It's a way to encourage players to get engaged in fights without having to force anybody in. You can't really just sit still the entire time. You've got to get engaged, get involved with what's going on.
And it ends when we go below that threshold. Exactly. This first threshold, you have to drop below 70 players. So Storm Surge will remain in play right now until 69 players is reached. You see Booga with an elimination, Blaster with one as well. Players above the damage threshold sitting pretty right now, but players who are below it, they're frantically searching for some damage they can do to try to get themselves in a safe spot.
Aqua on your screen, one of the World Cup duo champions from yesterday, just outside of SD Divot. Shots inside here, Colorful trying to rotate back away, doesn't want to quite get caught just yet. Those splashes, by the way, one of the best healing items in the game right now in scrimmages, competitive Fortnite. An instant throw 20, and it's HP or shield that will transfer across both. May not be able to get this off quite yet. It's going to cancel. He did. Oh, he did it? Yep. Currents applying pressure to the side. Not a lot of ammunition right now in the inventory. Only 70 medium rounds for that heavy AR. Not the favorite for a spray weapon. Great at tap fire at a distance, though.
Look at how dead center this zone is in the bottom right of your screen. Mr. Savage did just get an elimination down on him often. Look at how dead center Mr. Savage still alive in this one. Looking to bounce back from yesterday. I know Mr. Savage wasn't too happy with the final performance. Kurtz still, we saw the player piece on him. From Brazil, trying to rep for his family. Classical elimination there as well on the Twins. And Storm Surge is now active. The players still above. So people will begin taking damage. And that's a solid chunk with that common tactical shotgun. But another player begins to throw their name into the hat, not taking out Kurtz. No more shield left. We'll back up the moment. Common tactical shotgun.
At this point, with the circle where it is, we've got 60 seconds before things start to close, and I would say maybe a third of the field is still outside of the next safe zone. You're going to see a lot of players pushing to Loot Lake. You have to realize, if you're watching at home, if you're here at Arthur Ashe Stadium, competitive Fortnite is very much about late game strategy and positioning. 74 players right now remaining does not surprise us in the slightest, to be honest, especially with how much money is on the line. Arians goes down. Start picking up that one, but not enough damage dealt. You see the Storm Surge. 2 more players need to get eliminated.
Biggie just got up now as players began to drop. So Wakey went down to the Storm. Skype an elimination onto Astonish. We are 1 player away from the end of Storm Surge, and there it is as we just hit the threshold. So now no more panic has to come through for these players for the moment. The next one will come into play in a couple more zones as Keenstar right now, a double qualified player from France, currently set on up against Envy Bucky as they are right now within a couple boxes of each other. From France, currently set on up against Envy Bucky as they
see exactly where things move through here. Just want to hold these edits and look out. No reason to apply too much pressure just yet. He's kind of waiting to see other players that may be around him rotating away, and that's exactly the play. Bucky, by the way, a player that we've seen in competitive qualifiers. He actually spent some time talking to Hogman a lot to refine his gameplay in his drop, and we've seen a big improvement since then. Good shout out to Hogman for helping Bucky out with that one. All the way here to the World Cup solo finals. Since then.
Will he use one of the campfires in the inventory? Here, the World Cup 25 extra health.
It depends on the play. If he's looking towards late game, he's going to try and hold on to those for a heal off potentially when that final zone starts to close. We'll have to see. A quick reminder, by the way, on the right side of your screen, a victory royale. The win is worth 10 placement points. Those are big. Top 5 is 7 points. Top 15 is 5. Top 25 is 3 points, and every single elimination for these players is an additional point. Top 25 is the focus of the current map right now. A lot of players out here on the hill. Northeast side of Neo tilted, actually a pretty good spot. You have multiple slips nearby while those are still on. You have to remember those do turn off. Sky taking shots. I believe that's on DRG just to the south. While those are still pressure applied there. He's trying to sneak any shot he can through. Actually, it's challenged. DRG surprises me. Doesn't go for the build there to protect and get a better spot.
Wow, that's solid damage.
Just go for it.
Solid damage, and look what's also on the ground right there. The legendary infantry rifle. Still can swap that when needed. Right now, choosing to go with the spray weapons. This is a player that's close. The legendary infantry rifle. We have a replay coming on in soon of Mega from FaZe, who choosing to go with the spray weapons. This player played yesterday in the duos competition with Dubs. Dubs already dropped this game. We'll see how Mega plays this one. Gets to the opponent's box. 2 clean shots. And there it comes through, and near max materials, Slurp Juice as well as Chunk Splashes will be sitting pretty with the inventory right there. The next zone did just pop on up, moving to kind of the eastern side of the current zone. And what we're seeing right now from Skype is Skype recognizes he's got extra materials back, so he's going to run back, build out a little bit, grab the excess materials, and continue to tunnel with these mats. He's also juggling items over as well to still have the ability to use these whenever he would like to wish to in these next zones. Here's everyone on the map. A rocket being fired to the far side. Bizzle there still on your screen. Commandment, Epic Whale. Here's everyone on the map. A rocket being fired to the Prison Arrow is still boxed up in metal just outside the zone, and Stompy, who was one of the more dominant European players in the online qualifier, still in this one, but Zayd was in the lead with Sap yesterday. 5 of the 6 games, but in the end not able to close it out. Zayd was in the lead. You see, with continuing to spray, is above the damage threshold. This next threshold of player stock to Lupo 50. So we're about a minute away before it activates. Bizzle with elimination, though, down on the Stacey.
At this point, too, you have a lot of players. Brunch is going to start to happen. Player count starting to dwindle. The loadout here in Zayd's inventory, a single Shadow Bomb going to be used for rotation if he has to. Quite yet, though, he's already in the next safe zone. That heavy sniper rifle we just saw moments ago, and he'll probably go for it again. He's going to knock out a wall and immediately swap to that legendary AR to try and take shots while the wall is gone. One player may not be paying attention. This could be the big one right here. Immediate swap, a 69 shield pad, solid crit through the wall. They do box up, but it looks like at that moment he saw the box was being pressured from another player and decided to go for it.
Keep in mind,
and here we go.
Keep in mind, no healing for Zay, so you can see just how cautiously he's taking these fights.
Oh, yeah.
Also today in solos, there's no longer the threat, Dr. Lupo, of the double heavy sniper. Sure, we've seen solo players try to use it for their advantage by themselves, but it just is not the same effect. Lolboom, bottom right of your screen, Zay, top left of your screen, both two eliminations so far, and here comes Storm Surge for players pushing on in. Not a threat for Lolboom as he's 409 above, but Karhu did just go down to that Storm Surge, so an unfortunate game number one there, and some free shockwave grenades to pick up. Dr. Lupo will be extremely useful in these rotating zones, and oh man, Lolboom is eating this stink bomb. 50 damage, Dr. Lupo. Rotating zones, a terrible, terrible spot to be in for Lolboom.
Lolboom, a solo Irishman, qualified for the World Cup here, gonna have to push on through and try and make his way to the next safe zone. Multiple ballers on the outside, he might be able to grab that one in the water right there if he sees it when he pops out. Let's see, Vivid on your screen. Evil Man still there as well. Right there. Psalm rotating in, multiple ballers still on the field.
Look at that build.
Look at the, yeah. This is like a Fortnite World Cup apartment complex. You have countless players stacked in next to each other. Bizzle going for the edit reset, can't quite catch himself just yet.
Uga's still making plays happen. A lot of people have him high up on the leaders, and here it is again. Yarkos with the elimination from earlier on, down onto Aqua, who obviously was our Fortnite World Champion yesterday in duos. Rough start in game number one. Bizzle, one of the most consistent and winningest Fortnite pro players of all time, Dr. Lupo. When you say a veteran in Fortnite competitive, Bizzle is at the top of that list, but here's Yarkos again, now on the high ground after that first elimination down onto Aqua, looking for more right now as he's got ultimate high.
This is one of the best spots in the game right now. We'll have to see where the map is going to rotate in northwest, so he's going to have to make a move soon. Very hefty weapon loadout. Not a whole ton of rotation. Does have the 2 launch pads, does have the redeploy, but those are going to leave you exposed up in the air. Little look back, King. Rotation here. The feed starting to light up. 38 players.
Oh, yeah.
And that count is going to go down, down, down. Zate eliminated by Left Eye. Colorful taking up. Another one out as well. King. 4 eliminations. You have to remember, placement points don't kick in until top 25, so he only has those 4. So those are 4 very, very big points. Let's go. The Storm starting to pressure players. You're going to see a lot of launch pads and redeploys come into play, and those community movement mechanics like launch pads placed on the ground would be tough. A player actually just flew right through King's box.
That could have been bad, Dr. Lupo. That could have been real bad.
Maybe a trap play from either player. We'll have to see here. Menu Fishy the feed taking another elimination. Top 35 now. Jax, we're coming 30 seconds away from the next circle.
And Mr. Savage trying to contest Rux for height as they both continue to build on up. Mr. Savage goes for the shot. Rux gives it up for the moment. So game one right now, the height goes to Mr. Savage, but there's still a ton of time left. On the low ground right now, you've got Pika week, Class week, Flutterboys week, Tuesday week as well. Mr. Savage has shot down Rux for the moment. He still continues to keep height. Yarkos, though, looking to challenge right now. 27 players left. Placement points about to come into play.
Yarkos takes the ultimate high in the backside there. Riverside from Team Liquid flying across right left of your screen. Multiple players. Ultimate low ground warriors down there, both in and out of ballers. Class looks like he might be a campfire in the middle of it. Mr. Savage.
King at 7 limbs and has made it into placements. King absolutely the #1 performance so far in game 1. 120 total HP. Can he find his limb? No! As the crowd erupts. Top 20 now, though, but King got the job done. There was 27 players left, Dr. Lupo. King eliminates the last 2 to make it a top 25 for the placement points.
Huge plays there. Going down to the feed. What a shot. A quick swap there. Uga showing why he's one of the most active.
Top 15.
Top 15. Mag with an elim. Your feed in the top left. One of the most important things to watch if you're looking for players' names.
Top 15.
He's going to have to wait and bait players out. Movement now. Here it is. The Shadow Bomb for rotation. He's still got 2 more in his inventory, which this late in the game is huge. He does have 3 shockwave grenades as well. His height needs to be taken, or even a long-range rotation. 8 players remaining, Jack Yarkos. 4 eliminations, everyone in here getting those placement points. Beam from above, it goes down. No builds, gonna be tough there. Psalm picking up that Elan. Bugha though, 5 right now moving forward.
Not only that, 2 shadow bombs left, still with shockwave grenades too. The #1 point you've seen in competitive Fortnite this weekend, when do you use the shockwave to go for height? It's Psalm currently on height. Bugha sees that. That was him taking a look for exactly where the player is. I think it's time, Dr. Lupo. No, shadow bomb will be used. Okay, so not quite doing it yet.
Looking for a high ground.
Yeah, I was looking to see.
He's saving those. Don't you worry. I guarantee before too long, a player like this is going to make plays. Sitting the edge of the sniper box up. He's going for edit shots. Big hit. My gosh. The outside. Bugha picking up his 6th elimination. Creo, Rux, Bugha all on the low ground. Bella EU, one player to shockwave the height. It's still Psalm up top. Still got it. Same floor as Creo, 1v1 up top, 1v1 on the bottom, stuck in the box. Big hits, back-to-back shots. Bugha picking up another elimination.
Bugha is insane
now. Almost going to be his game to win. We'll see here another one. Can he find the 9th elimination and the first victory royale, the World Cup solos?
Dr. Lupo, it might be time soon. It might be time soon. Bugha smiling. He's got the health advantage on Creo.
Does.
Folks, it might be time for the shockwave play. Bugha could soar up into the sky. Go for it. Here it is. Shockwave to height. Shots coming in. No elimination yet for the first game victory royale.
Oh my gosh. Confident play from Bugha. What a monster. The first victory royale.
The crowd on their feet. Bugha, calm, cool, and collected, wipes out 5 of the last top 6 players for the victory royale. What a swing of points right there, Dr. Lupo. You get the win. You get max placement points. 9 elims too. Folks, that is a statement game #1 for Bugha. And here it is again. The shockwave up. Creo tried to prepare. You see the damage coming on through, but at that point, with that much of a health advantage, Creo stands no shot. What a brilliant ending. Talk about a great late game. Solos absolutely living up to the hype of the duo competition yesterday.
Imagine being in the World Cup Finals, and instead of opting for a safe, stay down bottom and wait and bait your shots, you throw a shockwave down and you ascend to the high ground, take over and get the victory.
Much deserved game 1 victory right there. The #1 thing I noticed from Bugha, in the shadow bombs, so many people worry so much about popping out of the shadow and immediately boxing and protecting themselves. Instead, Bugha winds up pushing forward, looking for where his next victim could be, and then pops out of the shadow and eliminates the player. It happened 3 times right there, and it was big reasons why he was able to push on through. Bugha, an incredible performance. What is that, 19 points in game #1?
Game #1.
I don't see how anyone's above that.
At this point, I mean, we're going to take a look exactly to see where
like I predicted
that falls on the leaderboards. No surprise here, a 9-point lead out of game 1. King, 7 eliminations. We saw that earlier. Sadly goes down a little bit before those top couple placements. Psalm, Rux, Yarkos, ton of top-tier players across the board right now. But a 9-point lead after game 1 is absolutely impressive.
And you look at the leaderboard right now, a big talk of yesterday, EU versus NA. EU, why so quiet earlier in the day? NA, why so quiet at the end of the day? 8 of the 10 top players after game 1, all from the US. Here's your 11th and 20th place right now. Benji Fishy on there, Evil Mare on there as well. But a fantastic start to today, and I'm loving the energy from this crowd at the first ever Fortnite World Cup. They saw how good the competition was yesterday, and I know everyone was so excited to kick it off today with millions watching online. They saw Bugha take game #1. He's down to the floor. Was so excited to kick it off today with millions watching online. They saw Bugha take game #1.
Huge first game for the NA player. That's what you want to see. You want a health advantage at the end. 9 elims to cap off an incredible first game. What is your thought process going into the final moments of in-game, right? A 1v1 there at the end. You've got health advantage. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm pretty much low ground. I have like 200 mads. I realized that I could probably make a play with the impulse, just go for right and just like get a big pump on him.
Amazing. Well, we saw that happen in real time. An amazing clutch for an end of a first game for Bugha. Yo, Jack, Lupo, that is exactly what you want to see, is it not? Amazing clutch for an end.
I mean, I don't think you can really ask for much more than that. A victory royale and 9 elims. The man is so talented, has always been one of the top solo players in the North American region, and he shows it right there in game 1, and already a 9-point lead. Solid stuff.
What an incredible game out of the gate already. Number 1 down. We have 5 left to go. We want to take a look and see exactly how some of those pieces played out, how everything worked, and maybe a little bit of a deep dive into how some of these players play. So we're going to throw it over to Sundown, Unreal Island. Let's take a look. A little bit of a deep dive.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage. And while Bugha was able to dominate the rest of the lobby, I want to take a look at one of the other most marquee and aggressive players we saw. He had the entire lobby saying, "Toda salve de Argentina." It is King of 9Z with an incredible 70 elimination run in 20th place. Let's take a look at some of this gameplay. So right away, you'll notice, what is he doing? He's patented going forward, wall replace on land 123. That's going to be the theme of these clips. He doesn't miss his shots, and he's not afraid to flex either. Throwing the donkey laugh out there, throwing him a little love, saying, "I don't care who you are." Now he's sitting on the 4 elims. He's in the box fight, and he's constantly looking to pick up new targets. Replaces the wall from the side, turns around, and picks up a great elimination there onto Bucky in the rotation. But now watch on the spree zone. 5 elims right now. Cones himself up. Look at this. The player challenges him. He's not building. He's going at him. He says, "If you want to fight me, I shoot first. I am the king." Was able to go, but unfortunately gets caught there in the rotation. But still, a brilliant performance from the young Argentinian. He's looking to challenge. He's looking to frag out with the best of the best, putting himself currently sitting in the number 2 spot. He has played so absurdly well in that first game. This is what it's all about. If you can bring your aggression, what you do in the qualifiers, and take it to this stage, and you don't have nerves. If you're like Bugha and say, "I'm gonna go." If you're like King and say, "You want to edit? I'll shoot first. I'll take the 50 health on elim there, and I will take the point and stay in the match." You can wait and watch me dominate. Let's get into match 2, because that first match was insane. Courage and Lupo, take it away, guys.
Sundown, thank you so much. Appreciate the quick analysis of everything that happened in the middle of that game. A lot of action here at the Fortnite World Cup solo competition. This is the last day for the entire event as well. I hope everyone has enjoyed Marshmallow's concert. We have tons of people here in the crowd. Absolutely, it's just been ridiculous. So much fun.
My Italian family was out there, 25 people deep. They've got a full deli layout. Unfortunately, my Aunt Lorraine down in Florida, I know you're watching. Shout out, we love you, miss you. But no, they're all here for their first ever event too. It is an incredible energy in here. And, you know, guys in the venue, do you guys want to see another Fortnite World Cup next year? Should we do this again?
I'm thinking, yeah, Jack.
All right, budget's approved, Epic, it's happening. But folks, let's get back into the action. Game number 2 about to begin. Bugha, the superstar of game 1, the talk on all social media with the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. What a play. The lobby is ready. The players are ready. Ladies and gentlemen in the venue, are you ready? Game 2 of the solos competition here at the Fortnite World Cup Finals starts right now.
After the last game, I have a feeling you're going to see maybe potentially more contested drops and players vying for those points, seeing exactly what can be done now. Bugha bringing home 9 eliminations in that first game. I think the next 2 closest were 7-4, and then everybody was below that. Arcos, I think, had 4, King with 7. Going into game 2, knowing that we still have 5 remaining, knowing that based on the leaderboards from yesterday, that 17 points at one point separated first and last. By the way, a quick note, we can see the mini-map, but I think Tfue, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
I'm pretty sure Tfue has the block all by himself. Again, Clipnote didn't want to challenge it this time.
No one nearby at all, and also on that map, look at the two llamas right outside a racetrack. It looks like one player's about to go claim him. Also, Bizzle, who basically lands in Dusty Divot uncontested, I believe already got a llama in this one. So some great movement will be up there for them. Here again, the stats for last match. First place, the Victory Royale, 19 total points because of those 9 limbs. Sitting pretty, 5 games away from $3 million.
I have to say, I feel like after one game, seeing an average placement stat of first, that's something I would screenshot just to hold on to. Yeah,
best player in the world.
I averaged first through all the games that have been played.
Here is Aqua versus Twins Aqua. We can't stress enough. The Fortnite World Champion from yesterday in duos. Only with a common SMG is Twins, and pumps being missed left and right from Aqua. And I'm going to tell you right now, Aqua's going to be upset with himself on that one, Dr. Lupo. That was a sloppy fight from both sides. I'm going to say it right now. Those early game fights can be very, very awkward, but we also have the first elimination what we saw earlier. And it was Bizzle with the common pistol and then says, here's your reward. A llama that was looking at a nice view from the top of Dusty Divot.
By the way, a quick note here. Twins had 46 elims in his qualifying matches. So many eliminations to get to this point. Over 10 games, that's huge.
And most players didn't even get to play the full 10, so you got to think Twins did pop off in his region when it was going on
right
through.
there. Yep. 2 shadow bombs, already has a flint knock sitting on minis and a pump. Solid early game loadout. Can pick up maybe one more movement or ability, depending on whether or not he wants to keep the flint knock in his inventory. We'll have to see. Still hopefully looking for a slurp at some point. MQ and Mr. Savage not far from each other. Takamura, Clarity G also in Happy Hamlet. My least favorite drop, I'm going to be honest with you, but a lot of these players know exactly where the chests are. They know exactly how to get there as fast as they can. And there are so many materials down here. This also is one of the highest chest spawn counts in the entire game. This POI is insane.
I believe 29 possible chests or something along those lines. But as MQ says, you know what, let me roll away for right now. Give that to Mr. Savage. Over to Snobby Shores. It's Hornet. Putting the spray down with that heavy assault rifle. Only 19 AR shots left, Dr. Lupo, so we'll have to use them wisely here. 8 players have dropped so far in the zone. Go to southwestern side zone on this one, so already some good variation between the zones in Game 1 and Game 2. Hornet will continue to move slowly but surely over to Nyx. Already some good variation looking at the map and Game 2. Looks like a lot of players still outside the zone as you'd expect, but they'll begin to rotate on through as the first storm will close.
Boy, plenty of time to make decisions. Force engagement there. The tree disappears, and that drum shotgun spewing shells out. Going to push inside the box. Point at the wall. If the trap was placed, the tree disappears right there. Doesn't have one in the inventory. Nyx still trying to apply as much pressure as possible, not having to chew through too many rounds. Here, the drum shotgun. So much damage dealt with this thing so far. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes in for it here in just a second, and he does. Watching that corner, Hornet still on the defensive. Long-range spray from a drum shotgun isn't enough, but up close, the thing is very, very deadly. Nyx picking up first elimination for him in this game.
Also with the emote after the eliminations. That's 2 so far. Spicy.
Jack, you love
I mean, I love this.
You love it.
I get like 1 eliminate for every 3 games. So every time I have the option to emote on my opponent, it's fantastic.
A very important note there. Nyx had the most eliminations in the online opens at 61 during his qualifying week. That's crazy too. And Nyx from Brazil often saw very aggressive gameplay from those players during their qualifying matches.
All they would do was kind of just stomp through their lobbies. We always talk about how insane it was. Here's the inventory for Tfue right now. 4 minis, 3 big shields,
Good Lord.
4 shadow bombs, a launch pad, a legendary infantry rifle, a blue pump shotgun. Tfue set up for the rest of this game, nearing max materials as well. This is what happens when you give this man block all by himself.
Nobody wants to challenge here, but it's one of the best loot spots in the game. Roban's over on the right side of your screen, going to try and take that southeast corner building, see if there's anything left inside, but there's so much loot here at the block, so many materials, so many opportunities. Get an advantageous position too, because you're right up the hill, like I said before, this baller spawns up there. Those are going to get grabbed pretty quick, but if they don't, if you're lucky enough, you have free rotation as well. So not terribly far from a slipstream with a second just past the umbrella. flurry down there. Meanwhile, Mr. Savage taking a 1v1 down here. Happy handled. There's actually 3 players total. My apologies. You see on the mini-map at the bottom right there. They can't see those arrows, but we definitely can. And Crew and Takamura still down inside in the building. Audio cues trying to listen for each other. Takamura, you see, not really moving. Crew trying to do some wall replacing to build up a little bit of a material buffer in case fighting does happen here. I think Mr. Savage is going to rotate out.
Here is Tifu, the player just in front. The fight he's potentially looking to take. Not sure exactly what the health is of the opponent just ahead, but you got to think, okay, so there is a health advantage. Maybe Tifu did a bit of damage as Kluja will begin to heal on up. So it does look like Tifu damaged the player, thought about challenging, but for right now, we'll just box for a moment. They are very, very soon going to have to move towards the zone.
You're watching online and you get an opportunity here. Flip some shots from Tifu. It's going to be very accurate. We've seen it before and we'll see him again with that infantry rifle. One of the best in the game.
That was kind of greedy from Tifu. He has a ton of materials. I think he didn't expect his opponent to challenge and go for a shot, but because he tries to save a couple walls of wood, he has to pop one of those big shields. And Kluja says, you know what? I'm out of here and the zone's already there, so Tifu has a long trek ahead of him. Might have to decide if he's going to use a launch pad here. Probably not, as he does have the slipstreams down below, but still will take some damage.
If there is a rift spawn up with the bird, he can take the zip across, jump off midway through, and go down and grab it. We'll see.
Booga eliminated to start off this game in 90th place. So our game 1 winner out early on, which means that that 9-point lead will surely be cut down as this one goes on. Quick thing I want to remind everyone of, yesterday we were nearing the #1 trend in the world on Twitter. I'm going to challenge all of you right now. Use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup across everywhere. Send in how you're watching today. Let me know who you think's going to win. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup everywhere from the millions of you all tuning on in. Can't stress that enough. Let everyone know that the largest event, one of the largest events of all time, concludes today with a $30 million prize pot in total throughout the weekend.
Stuck in a little stalemate. He's going to hold that side, look for the shot. Can't quite find it. Player backs out of that. Fast enough.
Mr. Savage goes down to Mega.
Games eliminated early in this game 2, the World Cup solos.
Mr. Savage goes down to Mega.
Start holding this edit yet again, just trying to wait and watch to see if he's going to spot this player, make a move. This might be a opportunity to make a play here. Twins kind of baiting the ultimate high ground here. This might be little resets. Can go for a wall replace. Does get it. Pressure applied. Going to jump up. He built the ramp preemptively to defend against any shots. Here it is. A shot from the side does make contact. Twins down to 90 total HP. Big hit there with the shot. He's going to try and rotate up on the outside. Pressured against the edge of the storm, and a build off is kind of the only answer at this point. Quick pass down. Doesn't quite find that player inside ahead of him has the lead. Another big hit. 14 HP left for Twins. A build fight is all he's got left. He could shadow and try and get away, but if a player inside is smart enough, Keemstar knows exactly where to shoot. Twins is going to go down. We'll see here. One pump is all it takes, though, with this thing. 150 HP.
Oh my gosh.
Almost going down there. No shield remaining. A back and forth between these two titans of Fortnite. And there it is. Keemstar finding the lead. The shot there, and Twins eliminated.
Move towards Storm Surge kicking on in. I do want to point out where this next zone is. Spoke to production. We'll bring that back in for you all to see just how insane zone number 2 will be for everyone on this map.
Actually, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they have a long run ahead. Look at that. A third of the zone
outside,
off the map.
Yeah, because not only are you forced all the way to the bottom of the map, you've got nothing on the south end of the safe zone. Players going to get compressed together. I would expect going into circle 3 or 4, you're going to see a very low player count in comparison to last game. We're already down to 75. And Storm Surge now getting ready to kick in. You have 5 players that need to go down before damage starts to go out to those that have not dealt enough of it. Yep. Multiple players bunkering up here at Happy Hamlet. Not a whole lot of real estate left. Shots going out there. You heard that minigun, one of the very, very, very good weapon for applying pressure to structures, especially when you see other players are taking shots at the same target. Fight in the top left of your screen there. Replay between Niddle, opponent inside the box. Thought above, but headed down. Quite fine the first shot. Follows through with a second, third, fourth, and the elimination.
He had 1 health left. If you look, after the 50 health was earned, he was stuck at 50, meaning he was under 1 HP. He had effectively 0.9% health and goes down right there. His opponent can't win the fight as he's rewarded. Nakamura on your screen, 179 total HP, and that's a tough battle you have here, Dr. Lupo. Do you use your last healing item in the big shield for only 21, or do you hope maybe 179 health is enough for the next fight? It's a double-edged sword, a tough decision to make. Storm Surge still active. 4 more players need to go down before it ends. It's a double-edged sword.
The wall there, can't quite find it. Ended up and out. Going to make the rotation away. Waiting. This is just an opportunity. He's basically trying to bait to see if the player inside is going to head out. Shockwave. Lecce hits the tree and might cost him. Pressure being applied now. The 1v1 not over quite yet. Combat shotgun from above right here will be very effective. The spread from a top-down position like this is like a guaranteed crit. Here we go. Shot behind, can't quite make contact yet.
Zone now hitting for 2 as well.
Player's gonna have to go for it very soon. Here we go. Another shockwave to push away. Storm Surge is active. He's way above, and those bandages are gonna be key to survival. We'll see. I guess the swap in position. Lecce took the high ground temporarily here.
They're at a point now where they basically just, one of them needs to get in a fight. One of them needs to win this fight if they want to survive for the 50 extra health. Lecce slowly taking this damage, 2 ticks every second, and it's going quick. Dr. Lupo now down to just 12 HP. This could be done here momentarily. Just shot, no! Moffin wins it with the quick shotgun to the dome, and you see, using 4 bandages, the 50 health puts him back to 100. It should be enough to move on in. Storm Surge now over as well, and the next zone just popped up. And it's even more Southwest. Tfue still alive in this game. So far, 0 eliminations. Still, though, with this magnificent inventory for the late game. Tfue still alive in this game.
I just want to say that the bait outside in the storm, forcing your opponent to take damage, knowing that they're not healing for their own HP, basically a way of weakening them, and then you choose the time to engage, means you don't even have to be as active as before. That shotgun, basically a couple shots, and that player on rotation with the Shadow Bomb, a little more difficult to see them since they're basically invisible. They are a shadow.
Yeah.
Is that why they call it a Shadow Bomb?
Not entirely sure yet. Still figuring that out. Tfue not safe in the next zone. He's going to use Launchpad. He's going to try to use whatever his opponent places down right here. Still figuring that out. Tfue not safe in the next zone.
Oh, no. Try to use whatever his opponent trying to bait. Does put down that launch pad. Here we go. Thought for a second he might go for the right. Chooses not to. Flying past multiple players in.
Shadow Bomb.
And here we go. Shots from the backside. Pressure being applied on Tfue, and he's going to have to box up for just a second. There it is. Shadow Bomb and door edit. Here we go. Shots from the back on the outside. He is in the shadow form still, and you can keep this by jumping against the wall.
That was not a good Shadow Bomb, I can tell you right now.
Gotta be disappointed there. Big hit from above, down to 55 HP. Tfue, the edit from the outside, and he is eliminated by King.
And look who it is again. King, the player with 7 eliminations in game number 1, keeps the aggression going in game 2. The heavy sniper that immediately destroys that wall, and is rewarded with incredible loot, almost max builds as well. Tfue, a very quiet start to today's World Cup competition.
Here's that elimination on Tfue. Shot from above. A little bit of shield damage, but a big hit on the outside. Using a heavy sniper to take that wall almost instantly. Very intelligent play there. Again, more impressive player, more aggressive players we've seen thus far.
Yep, and it's working out up to this point.
Oh my gosh, this is back down at Happy Hamlet, right on the edge. So many players on the east side of the safe zone, and this is a far southwest. Remember, about a third of it is in the water right now. Nobody's on the island, the outside. We're going to see where this goes next. There it is, focused just to the west. That submarine atop the ice mountain right there.
But look at how many players are stacked on the right side of that zone. So if you're currently in this next zone, on that north or east side, you can put a ton of damage downrange as everyone has to move right at you. You see Karu does go down to Diego GB in your elimination feed. A ton of damage downrange as everyone has to move right Drop coming on through. You see Karu boxed up, Preo boxed up, Rux under 100 health. Has to play this one safely, but they are so far on the east side of the zone. The storm is going to move quite quick, Ben. And they've got to be ready for it. There's already the first shockwave used. Rux trying to shoot them from behind, not able to get an elimination there. Class so far away. Already the first shockwave used. Will use a launch pad and just begin to move toward this circle.
I have to think at this point with both placement and elimination before too long here. King maybe taking an opportunity to push into the first place position on the leaderboards, especially with Bugha going down so early in this game, 90th place.
I love this outfit with Rux.
He's a dinosaur.
No, I'm talking about his real life outfit.
He's a dinosaur.
He's set up to play in the Fortnite World Cup at 1, and then he's got a dinner date at 7:30. So good for him.
Class is everything, Jack.
I mean, the guy looks great. I'm going to give a shout out for that. Best dressed, 2 extra points. The Fortnite World Cup champion right there, Rux.
Class is everything, Jack.
The guy looks great. I'm going to give a shout out for that.
Only a 6 damage tag from the side there. Don't have to panic too much. That I would panic a little more about.
But when you have no movement, in that part of the zone, it's literally exactly what I just spoke about. King on your screen, but also something we haven't spoken a lot about, Reverse 2K. Duo with Ninja, able to qualify together for this competition, but did make it into solos, and now see what he can do by himself. Was on the farm side of this zone, so also not a fun spot by any means.
Quick note, King currently has the highest damage in the match, 574, meaning, like I said, that aggressive gameplay. Still in it, still trying to win, still trying to get the beat on players, and a quick beam on Aspect up the ramp, caught off guard by an edit play. A shot through the wall, gets the follow through with the edit. Nate goes down. He is playing out of his mind right now.
King reminds me of like Vinny and Zextro back from the earlier duo competitions when they would just try to fight anyone they saw. King, 7 eliminations in game 1, now 4 eliminations in game number 2, and there's still 42 players remaining. And there is only one person in the next zone that just popped up, Dr. Lupo. It is as far west as possible. And look at those arrows frantically moving on over as everyone knows prime real estate is available. This is one of the most insane zones I've seen. Look at, no one's in it. No one's in it.
Quick couple notes about King, one of our players from Argentina. He is the minimum age required in order to play the Fortnite World Cup. 13-year-olds.
Wait, King is 13?
He is indeed.
My goodness.
Jack is 11 million times better than both of us combined.
Yeah. That is absolutely ridiculous to think about. Cosmic on the height. Vivid still alive in this game. Artbrook still alive in this game. Drakden's still alive in this game. What does King use here? Looks like Will again place the launch pad, and what you saw right there, a ramp placed backwards to bounce off of it so he doesn't go all the way up. It's basically a sitting duck up in the air. Kind of flows quite quickly towards the opposing player. King, imagine winning $3 million as a 13-year-old. Towards the opposing player. I mean, I think I would have bought like a Razor scooter when I was that age, probably, and enough ice cream too. Well, I mean, I think I don't really know where I was going with that, but to be honest, it's going to be a lot of ice cream.
Surprised that food's the topic here. The push through the air. King getting aggressive into the next safe zone. Here we go. Gonna have to hold the wall for just a moment. Drop down. Like this repositioning. He doesn't want to remain in the same elevation. He's got multiple floors now in case he needs to take a drop there. Yarkos gets beamed from the side. Limited by Scalar. Arkham in the feed. Pick it up. And Elam on Bella EU. Dubs, Bucky, multiple players still in this game on your screen. Clicks taking out Cease in the feed.
29 players left is the big thing to note. 4 more from placement points, which if you make it to the top 25, instantly 3 points earned. That is on the mind of every player still remaining, and the zone's still moving west now. If you make it to the top 25, 3 points earned. That is on the mind of every player still remaining.
Quick swap there, picks the shouty back up. Interesting little play on the fly there from Zell. Just enough damage to the wall. Here we go. Shockwave. Gonna look for optimal placement. Maybe a little bit of time to disrupt a shockwave into a shadow bomb. 9,000 IQ.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Get all the way across the map and take as high on the mountain as possible. Very excellent play there for positioning the King, the star of the show. Thus far for game 2, 5 eliminations. We are in the top 25 for placement now, so those points go out, and that's got to push King even higher on the board.
Yeah, King was already surging towards the top of our leaderboards. Now could very well be after this game. King spraying on through with the submachine gun. Players moving as fast as they can over this mountain. Now could very the left side of your screen, now the full screen. Mku still moving forward. Look at how fast he can tunnel. Benji Fishy's still alive in this game, just took down Draken. Down the hill we go. Rogue Shark on height right now, but will the waterfall down for a moment. Vivid still falling on up. King down to just 40, 30, 20, 15 HP, under 10. No, still 17 HP. Will only be at 42 effective health. I mean, if he gets any further than this, it'll be an absolute miracle. No, down goes King, but I think one of the crowd favorites beginning to emerge today. Fantastic performance at this point. Benji Fishy goes down as well.
Crowd being behind him. Dubs still in a baller at the bottom.
Top 15.
Star sitting on 2 eliminations in this. The entire field is at the bottom of your screen on the left with Rogue Shark remaining up top, forced into the drop. On 2 eliminated away. Listen to this. Shadow Bomb to save from any fall damage. Vivid beamed on the rotation upfield to the high ground.
Vivid's on height.
Still there too.
Vivid's on height.
It's an opportunity here. Can capitalize and take shots on all these players rotating. At this point, Vivid's best bet is to force players out of ballers into fights. You don't want to let them remain inside and safe. If you pop them out, it may be an exposed position. Other players will take shots, and that's going to get you in a better place.
Look at the ballers. The ballers beginning to scale the mountain. Vivid, I think, still has high ground. Has time to pop a mini by chance? Nope, nothing as of yet. Now the fight for height begins. Vivid building out up Arc from in your elimination feed now into our top 10. Issa, the controller god as many regard him as, takes down Sam. Another one on the Thatch too. So Issa from Europe getting involved in this game as well. Vivid and Rogue Shark all the way on high ground. Still multiple ballers in play. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. This is game 2 of 6, and oh no! Vivid has lost the high ground, but he says no! This is mine, young man! And takes it right back. No mats! No mats! No life! Vivid is out! Takes it right back of this game. But he got the limb. He got the limb on the Rogue Shark.
These are 2 eliminations sitting in the middle of the pack right now. 7 players remaining. The end of game 2 right before your eyes, folks. 120 total HP. He can't spend any time out of the zone right now. Down inside the box. Can't quite get in. One right behind outside. Can't find a beat. Issa goes down, placed in 4th. A 1v1. Dubs, the ultimate high ground. The crowd cheering behind him, looking to see if he can capitalize on this advantageous position.
Down low, Skype for Skype.
A little bit of a build-off between the 2, layering defensively against each other, but Dubs does build the flint knock to save him. On the drop might be the play just outside ahead of the build. Maybe can catch himself. By the storm. This might be it. Shockwave into the flint knock, in the safe zone, doubling back. Another one, a valiant effort. He's got to find a beat, but he won't be able to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, game 2 goes to Skype.
Skype had 27 health left. 8 HP. If he took one hit from the storm, he was dead. But he clutches on up. We heard in the interview earlier, he said, I'm going to play my game, win, do what I do best, and Skype does it there. Dubs, what a valiant effort. Look at Skype's HP. Literally one storm tick would have been enough, but Dubs had no mats left, and unfortunately didn't wind up making it up that mountain. Skype just wins, and there you see the celebration. Game 2 goes to EU as Skype comes out on top.
Single elimination, 11 points for Skype. That'd be great for the leaderboard. We'll have to see exactly where they end up. But a big, just honestly, a maximum effort from Dubs was insane to try and stay inside. Absolutely incredible. Here's your leaderboard as it stands right now. First place being held by Booga. 9 elims, 19 points from that first game. No showing in the second game, but it's still enough to keep him all the way at the top. But King slowly climbing his way up to the top, just behind now by only 1 point.
Folks, King can't drive because he's 13, but he can win $3 million today. When you talk about lives being changed, it's what the Fortnite World Cup Finals is all about. And now our crazy 9-point lead is down to just 1 first through 10th within arm's reach. And now our top 20 absolutely there as well. This is still anybody's game.
Same the spread between 1st and 20th, still very, very close. Anybody can climb all the way to the top in an instant, as we've seen countless times in the 10 weeks of qualifying all the way to here. New York City for the Fortnite World Cup, and this is the final day. Jack, today we give away $15 million in prizes.
It is absolutely crazy. It's insane. The energy in here so far today. I'm sure everyone's having a blast watching. Games 1 and 2, fantastic. So much happened, even more than we could probably even take in, and that's why we've got great people like Balla to help us out. Fantastic. So much.
Thank you so much, Courage. Yes, I'm here. We have a ton of awesome plays, a lot of action unfolding in that game. I'm going to help break it down. We're going to hop in with King, who got so many eliminations this game. No placement points, but if you recall, the beginning of this, nice tags here. Gets the player white damage. He knows he has health. He knows he just has only health, no shield. He just continues forward and goes for the box fight. In the second zone, the zone is about to start coming in. He has no fear, the aggressiveness of the player. And the double edit makes him fall right back into his own box that he had a floor on already, gets the cone on top. That's Leleo, another player from South America. But he continues to take out big names, and here's Tfue. He tags him a little bit, but then pulls out the heavy sniper right as Tfue takes the box. And because of that, that came as a surprise to Tfue that he could bring out the heavy sniper, take the wall right in that instance. Usually he'd be expecting the pickaxe on the wall, but the heavy sniper, speed. Now King continuing to look forward, continue to look towards the zone where players come from. It's Aspect that he takes out. That's 3 eliminations, but he goes on forward and grabs another one with great awareness onto Nate. So unbelievable play from here. King is just racking up elims. Again, no placement points in this game, but he still pushed himself within distance of Bugha. Who Bugha went down earlier there. He took out Clicks as well in the box. And this is, he's taking out Aspect, he's taking out Tfue, he's taking out Clicks. These are some of the best box fighters in the world. But now, King, he's saying, hey, I'm here at the Fortnite World Cup. I am one of the best box fighters in the world as well. So guys, that's King, the story so far. He's climbing the ranks, he's inching ever so closer to Bugha. Gentlemen, back to you.
Great stuff, Balla, and yeah, a fantastic breakdown of how King has made it up to our second place spot so far. We were only a third of the way through today's competition, on the road to crowning a Fortnite World Champion. Thoughts after games 1 and 2?
I'd love to see the aggressive gameplay from King and others. Those kind of plays you don't often see in the Fortnite World Cup or really any competitive play. A lot of players are waiting for those opportunities to maybe get shots on players that are moving. That kind of thing. It's been great to see. And obviously a crowd favorite here, as we've heard people erupt every time he pushes into the box. What about you thus far?
Crazy action. I'm really interested to see how these different landings continue. We've already seen games 1 to game 2. People switch up their spots, land at different areas. Sometimes it's come back to bite them. All I know is, though, that's going to do it for us two for right now. We'll be back later today, but down on the floor we have Zeke with some more information on back players. All I know is, though, that's going to do it for us.
Thank you so much, Lupo, Courage, man. What an insane first 2 games here on the first day, or the final day of solos competition. Thank you so much, Lupo. Bugha with insane shockwave play to give him the high ground. And then here, Sky, his positioning on point, which gave him the win over Dubs. I mean, you guys, and of course, the Marshmallow performance. If you guys are here, how have you enjoyed the day so far? What do you think? I mean, you guys, and of course, some of you are still sleeping. Guys, what do you think? This is it, the final day! What do you think? There it is. You're awake. I appreciate that. Now, of course, guys, we've been getting through this Fortnite action all weekend long. But don't forget, we actually had creative happening earlier on Friday. Now, if you remember, there was a certain team captain with a great crew. They won, and they became the first ever Fortnite World Cup Creative Champions. And that was the Fish fam led by team leader Scissors. Now, we felt we probably should go ahead and check up on him, see how things are going for him. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, we felt we probably should go ahead and check up on him, see how things are going for him. So let's go ahead and do that.
Kitty Plays, and we're here in the player lounge right now, joined by the winners of the Creative World Cup. First of all, congratulations. Now, Scissors, how does it feel now to solidify that title?
It's kind of awesome considering I love creative mode. It's thriving, it's awesome, I love it.
Now, Tyler, did you ever believe that you guys would secure the position here today?
Yeah, I always knew we had it in the bag. You know, we're the week 1 qualifiers. We're the most stacked team. There was no competition. Just when the last map was a death run, I knew we had that that in the bag. We got some good players here. I knew Zan would clutch up, and he did just that.
You can tell he lifted the finger. He said, we need one coin. Just grab this coin right down here. If he can do this without being eliminated.
There it is. The win. Oh, he missed it, but gets it with the trap trigger.
You realize that that one jump won this group here an extra $1 million. It's unreal.
If you want to practice with dev runs, you need to like do it slow. Don't go in blindly, like try and like change everything you do every time you fail.
Zuzu, can you see yourself doing even more with creative? I mean, the success of today. Will you continue to go and play creative, Matt?
I think I would definitely stay consistent with creative because I feel like there's a lot of potential in creative still. And yeah, definitely this is my thing.
But I want to go down the line and see what each of you guys plan on doing with that prize.
I'll probably end up like saving most of the money, maybe like some investments.
He's 18, and he just won $336,000. What are you going to do with the prize?
Rent?
Maybe like some investments.
Rent.
He's 18.
Yeah, I think rent.
He just won
I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to save my money.
I am going to be responsible and probably just invest most of it and try and get even more money back.
All right, guys, congratulations again. Absolutely outstanding job. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I cannot wait to see what the future of Creative Fortnite looks like. Outstanding job. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I cannot wait to see.
Once again, massive props to Scissors and the Fish fam. They were one. They worked as a unit, and that's what got them the dub in the end. Once again, the grandfather of creative shows up huge here on this stage. Now, of course, guys, we know you want to get back into games. I want to get back into games too, but first, let's just make sure they get a little bit of a break to the players. We'll hop back in as soon as we can. Now, I did talk about creative a little bit, but don't forget, we also had that celebrity pro-am. Players and people from different walks of life all came together to take part on this stage and play for charity. Now, of course, we had Ninja and Marshmallow, your 2018 on this stage Pro-Am defending champions that faced off against Airwalks and RL Grime, your Summer Block Party Pro-Am champions. And the winners in the end were actually Grimes and Airwax. They are two-time Pro-Am champions. So let's actually check in with them and see how they're doing. They are two-time Pro-Am champions. So let's actually check in with them and see how they're doing.
I'm here in the player lounge right now, joined by our Pro-Am winners, RL Grimes and Airwalks. Wasn't totally expecting you'd win 2 in a row. Can you walk me through those final moments?
Felt really good. I don't think I would have won if I didn't have him.
Now, RL Grime, you were holding your own, you were keeping up, you were staying alive, you were getting eliminations. How did you change your playstyle from last Pro-Am to this Pro-Am?
I think we learned a lot from the last one, just that you focus on late game a little bit, and I just sort of let him lead the way and made it happen.
How did it feel to play with a potential World Cup duo winner?
It's amazing. I'm actually going to come tomorrow and sit in the stands and cheer for my man Airwalks. Yeah.
Maybe make an Airwalk sign and wave it in the air?
Maybe a 98 bot sign. I'll hold it up.
Good luck on the event tomorrow. Congratulations on winning. Congratulations on winning. Incredible, incredible gameplay throughout Fortnite World Cup Pro-Am. Congratulations on winning. Incredible, incredible gameplay throughout Fortnite World Cup Pro-Am.
Man, Grimes and Airwax coming in clutch. Very happy for those two, but I'm actually happy for this guy right here. This is one half of your Duos World Champions. This is Nyrox. I need you guys to make some noise right here, right now. Show him that you love him. This is Nyrox. I need you guys to make some noise right here. How does that make you feel? You got all these crowds.
That's great. Feels amazing.
There you go. Now, Nyrox, let's chat a little bit, right? Because you played yesterday, like I talked about, in the duo competition. Your partner, Aqua, is actually playing today in the solo competition. So what advice did you give him heading into these games?
I told him earlier this morning that he should stick with the plan we had yesterday, and even if he has a bad start, he can still make a comeback like we did, and he can still take the trophy home.
That's pretty good advice, pretty good advice. Now, you're already a world champion. You've got the title. So how does it feel now that you've got this title, you're here, you get to experience this and watch the solo competition, you know, how are you feeling after all that? So how does it feel now?
I mean, it feels amazing with the duo, even though I want to compete in solo as well, but hopefully this gives me confidence in solos, which makes me do better in solo next tournament.
Okay, one final question for you. This morning, you know, obviously yesterday was a huge day. You had a night to kind of sleep on it, and then you woke up the next morning.
One final question for
Did
you.
it sink in? You know, how did you feel the next morning when you're like, man, I'm a world champion the next morning?
It feels surreal. It doesn't really feel like I won anything because it was so big. It was almost too big to imagine. But yeah, it feels amazing.
Well, again, massive congrats to you. One half of our world champions. Again, give him some love, Fortnite fam. Again, massive congrats to you. One half of our world champions. Thank you again, Nyrox. Appreciate your time. Now, there's actually another player we want to talk about real quick, and that is Skite. He just won this second game, so let's see what he's got to say. Another player we want to talk about real quick, and that is Skite. He just won this second game, so
I'm Skite from Lustream. I'm French, coming from Paris. I've been preparing the finals by playing customs and playing every day with friends or mates. It was hard in the beginning because my wrist was a little bit broken, so I just wait and then I qualified for the boss in the last 2 weeks. I definitely want to thank my team because they support me a lot when I was playing Free Fire. In here we are more aggressive and NA is a little bit slower, so we try to play a little bit safe. I think maybe Zayt is really good and I want to take him down. I don't think playing in Stadium will affect my gameplay because I already did it. I love everyone and I'm just excited to play. Affect my gameplay because I already did it. I love everyone and I'm just excited to play.
There you go. There you have it. I mean, Skite, this guy is amazing. I'm a big fan. Skite, you know this. I'm a huge fan. Now, guys, there's so many players. There's 100 here that I wish we could spend so much time talking to every single one individually. But let's actually dive in specifically to one, and that's Mr. Vivid, you know, Mr. Clutchman himself. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him there, but don't worry, he's going to bring some more heat. We actually had time to spend with him and his hometown, learn more about him, so let's watch this together. Don't worry, he's going to bring some more heat. We actually had time to spend with him and his hometown, learn more about him, so let's watch this together. Don't worry, he's going to bring some more heat. We actually had time to spend with him and his hometown, learn more about him, so let's watch this together. Don't worry, he's going to bring some more heat. We actually had time to spend with him and his hometown.
I live in South Jersey in a small town. Population of under 1,000. I live in South Jersey in a small town. You see a couple of cars pass by your house. Population of under 1,000. It's quiet, so it's nice. I live in South Jersey. You see a couple of cars pass by your house. I played Fortnite at the highest level. It's quiet, so it's nice. I played Fortnite at the highest level. My name is Noah Wright, also known as Vivid. I am 21 years old. My name is Noah Wright. I've been playing competitive Fortnite for almost a year now.
Vivid, a familiar name to a lot of fans.
What makes me a successful player is probably all the hours that I put into it. The schedule gets kind of crazy, but I keep myself in good shape. I will do a workout routine, 20 minutes on the exercise bike, 15 minutes of stretching, and then back to playing Fortnite.
Look at that! I don't know what's hitting you, bud. What's hitting you?
Just having fun.
Vivid popping off. Taking that victory royale. That was insane. Vivid popping off. Taking that victory royale. That was insane.
I live with my dad. We've always been really close. All he ever wants to do is fish. I live with my dad. He takes care of everything around the house. It makes everything really convenient in terms of, playing games and just being able to focus on that. He takes care of everything around the house.
Our schedules work pretty well.
Makes everything really convenient.
When I get done work, he's usually up gaming, so we do spend a little bit of time talking and going through the day's activities. When I get done work, Noah and I helped each other very much getting through the difficult time.
When I was 10, my mom passed away. She passed away to a cancer called small cell carcinoma. My mom passed away. It definitely made me mature a lot. A cancer called small cell made me realize how much my mom actually did for me.
Noah's mom had a very big impact on his life.
made me realize
She
like,
set
how
the
much
ground
my mom
rules.
actually did for me.
Make sure the grades were all straight A's. Mom had a very big impact on his life. He could go into gaming. She set the ground rules. Make sure the grades were.
I credit a lot of my success to her.
Well done there, but he's gonna catch him in the air. Vivid's gonna get the victory royale. What a game from Vivid.
Knowing that I'm successful at doing what I love to do, that would just make her really happy. Knowing that I'm successful at doing what I love to do, that would
Ready?
just make her really happy. Knowing that I'm successful. Fortnite granted me with a decent amount of money. I can help my dad out now. So I got him the boat. Me with a decent amount of money.
He presented it to me for being a great father, bringing him up since our mother passed away. He presented it to me for being a great father, bringing him up
I actually haven't been on the boat yet. So this weekend I'm going to go on the boat for the first time. I actually haven't been on the boat yet.
Getting him on the boat and back on the water again.
So this weekend I'm going to go on the boat for the first time.
One of my ultimate dreams.
I actually haven't been on the boat yet.
Getting him on the boat and back on the water again. What do you think Mom would say? Ultimate dreams.
She'd like it. Looks nice.
I love it. What do you think Mom would say? I want to thank you for this and everything. It made me happy. I want to thank you for this and everything. What do you think of your first trip out here?
It's nice.
Now you got to come out more often. What do you think of your first trip out here?
It's nice.
Now you got to come out more often.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to keep myself together right now. I know how you're feeling, Vivid. I am very close to my own mom, and I'm gonna be honest. The world. I'm trying to keep myself together. If you guys have a chance here to meet Vivid, he is genuinely one of the most hardworking, kindest people you will ever meet in your entire life. If you guys have a chance, if you can say hello, take time to do it. I promise you will not be disappointed. And of course, Fortnite fam, we got to keep the games coming. Games are about to be underway. The players are back. They are ready to board the battle bus. For now, we're going to send it back up to none other than Monster D-Face, Golden Boy, House DJ Mike Realm. Bring the heat. For now, we're going to send it back up to none other than Monster D-Face, Golden Boy, House DJ Mike Realm. Bring the heat.
All right, folks, we know you're excited to get into some more games, and good news, we got you covered. Welcome, everyone. Golden Boy alongside with Monster D-Face. Here's we're going to call games 3 and 4 of the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. And, man, you couldn't have asked for 2 better games to start things off, Monster. Craziness through and through. Top to bottom. Best players in the world, and they're showing up here on the world stage.
I mean, you guys saw the reaction. Booga, with the insane game 1, had us jumping out of our seats, quite literally. And, man, Sky, at the final moments, I thought we were going to see a victory comeback from Dubs with the flint knock, shockwave to, shake up the entire place.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Yeah, it was very, very it was a nail biter. Let's just put it like that. But let's run over the format and how this whole thing's worked. So, at top 25, players will start to get 3 points, and we move on to 15th place. At that point, all the players that are still remaining will get an additional 2 points, making it a total of 5. Then after that, if they get to the top 5, they'll add 2 more points to that, making it a 7-point total earned for staying alive all the way until the end. But if you get that victory royale, you get a total of 10 points. So plus 3 coming out of the top 5 there. And each elimination is going to count for 1 point. So look for these players. Play for the placement. Some, like King, want to play for those eliminations. And then the prizing. It's all on the line for $3 million for the first place prize, 1.8 million for second, 1.2 million for third, and then 1 million as well, plus for fourth. That is crazy. That's a lot of money.
You know, yesterday the duos had to split it. Today, it all goes to you, right? It's just a solo competitor. So, and everyone here's a winner. We're here to celebrate every single player that has made it this far. If you stepped onto this stage, you are already a winner.
The marathon that they took to get up to this point, bananas to say the least. 10 weeks, grueling competition in both solos and duos, and for a lot of our competitors that have prepped not just for the competition today, but also yesterday. Now, we're already 2 games in. We had mentioned some of the players that had just performed very well. So you're Booga, who had a monumental game 1. And then you also had Skype, who was able to just outlive everyone else and stay alive. But it is Booga who still holds first place, but by 1 point, because Argentina's very own King is looking to contend that, and that is crazy. I mean, talking about aggression, this guy embodies it.
Yeah, you've seen him time in and time out. It's players like King that really make these tournaments interesting to watch. For the spectators at home, for everyone here in the audience, you gotta have your King show up and bring that action all the way to the end. And it's not to discredit anyone who made it this far. These guys are still in the running.
Yeah, it's only 2 games in. Games 3 and 4 are going to be just as important. Players are going to have to step it up if they want to get within the top 20 here. There's just so much on the line. There you see Booga, who's getting ready, getting prepped up. Everyone is so hyped up here at the Arthur Ashe Stadium, and I don't even know what to expect, man. Game 3, like, what are we even going to get? We're seeing early aggression here from a lot of the South American players. Our players that we talked to from North America and Europe said that was what they wanted to avoid, was the South American aggression, the OCE aggression, but it's this time it's South America that's showing up.
And not to bring it up, but, you know, you saw exactly what happened when King walked into Tfue. He just saw him trying to shadow bomb peacefully to the zone. They were not safe, by the way. They still had to make it through to Happy Hamlin, but King said, you know what, I'm going to pause right here, and I'm going to take this fight. And that is how the Brazilian region does.
Yeah, that's how they do it, man. They just want to take the fight. They want to go right at your face. They don't care who you are. They don't, listen, you can have millions of subscribers on YouTube. You can have all the Twitch Prime subs. You can have all the fame and the fortune. But at the end of the day, everyone that's in that game, they're all equal. There is no upper hand depending on how popular you are, and you shouldn't be treated that way either. You should just go at them with everything you've got, because that's what it's going to take to walk out of New York City with $3 million in your pocket, which, by the way, you'd have to have a very big pocket for that.
Take a look there. Benji Fishy has been showing up.
I told him to play to the crowd. I said, play to the crowd. Have some fun with him.
Yeah, good to see him smiling. You know, we were there in the warm-up games. He was a little timid, but Benji, loosen up, buddy. There goes Mr. Savage. And the rest of our competitors, Creo, Kinstar, Vivid, of course. A little timid, but Benji, loosen up, buddy. It's a big moment for everyone here. And he's close.
Yeah, and it must be cool as well to see you guys. Give him a round of applause. He waved to everybody. He waved to everybody. You know, that's not bad. All right, so here we go, folks. It's now time to jump into game number 3 here for the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. The countdown has begun. The players are loaded up in the battle bus. This is it, all on the line. Let's see who will take away another victory royale, or will we see one of our 2 winners get back-to-back wins, get double wins? That will be massive for them. Oh man, I'm excited, Monster.
And so far, Aqua has been the only player to prove that he can win on a stage of this magnitude. But just to give you guys a little context on the bus here, this is a bus coming from the south to the north side. So all of your competitors are going to get, yes, a fair split at the map here. And that's exactly what you like to see. You want everyone to have a fair shot at the map. So, yes, a fair split at the map here. That's exactly what you like to see. Saw Skype win that last game. Just outside of Pleasant Park. He's probably playing for some ballers here in our top 10 over on the left-hand side here, Golden Boy. Booga, King, Commandment, Psalm, one of our competitive veterans doing so great right here. Even with that one win, though, Sky is still in 6th place.
Yeah, it's wild to think about. That's what it took for him to be able to climb up into the top 10. Only 2 eliminations to his name, currently standing. But we're going to keep eyes for the time being here as we head on over to Junk Junction. There's a hot spot there as well.
We have talked to some players about landing for hot spots.
I actually just got word from production in the back. King has been eliminated off spawn.
Wow, that's huge. That's going to be a real big setback. We've seen players like Zayt and Saf really fall behind yesterday off of one game not going their way.
That is rough, man. That is certainly not going to be pretty for him. But hey, you have 3 more games remaining. You just got to shake that one off. Moving on, though, we're checking out the action at hand here. You're going to have Tuzel pushed right in. He's going to make him pay. That's going to be an elimination on to Fledermoys. Well done. Number 1 on the board.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't trust myself with that Magnum, but he gets right up on him and hits him in the chest. Here now with Crew.
That was the shot. Oh, Crew, no chill. Right on the sky platform, too.
That's how King was taken out. Couldn't even land safely. Got pinched right up the sky. That's rough.
Because there's nothing you can do. You're in a glider state. You're just floating down. You're hoping that no one's looking right at you. Players at this point, they're going to go for those shots, those open opportunities. And you got Tuzi, who had just picked up an elimination earlier on. The circle is going to be over in the ice biome, so by Polar Peak, Frosty Flights area, and it's also going to be within Pleasant Park as well. So the eastern part of the map, they're going to have to worry about moving on over to the safe zone. Now we're going to be looking at a crowd favorite here. We got Tifu.
Yeah, Tifu
had the best run so far.
He's been playing the blocks. He's been getting out of the block successfully. It's actually Clipnode who's been landing here from the Brazilian region. Again, known for landing on a weapon and pushing straight into whoever's at the block. But Tifu has successfully defended himself. Even in the warm-up games, T was winning all of the early game engagements. And, you know, shout out to Clip. He actually changed his strategy.
Clip went for a shot there.
Yeah, but Clipnode stopped pushing, though. He's not using the same strategy. He's actually adopted so far. Let's see what Tifu can do in these moments. He's chucking perfect grenades across.
Yeah, in game 1, Clipnode ended up getting everything that he needed and then disengaged out of the block, whereas Tifu took a little bit more time to loot up, get as much as he possibly can. Clipnode from the Brazilian region here. It's a possibility that he can take him out, but it's going to be very challenging here.
Maybe it was just the difference in loadout. Maybe before he didn't have exactly what he needed. Now we can kind of peek into his loadout here. This is a very strong loadout. He's got everything he needs to stick around and take this battle. And that's why you see him playing with such confidence now. And this could just be his game.
It was also admirable of him as well. You know, qualified week 9, last chance to do so. Argentinian player as well.
This could just be his game.
He got Taco Moore. He's a player right in front of him. Happy Hamlet is where this fight's going to be taking place. As Clarity G really made it to the end game in game 2. High ground there for a moment. Thought he could have pulled that one off. Mr. Savage has eyes on Clarity G, does put the pressure on him. Now Clarity's going to have to deal with a player that's behind and in front of him. So just shadow bombs on out of there. He's going to have another one to use as well in case he needs to pop it, but it doesn't seem like anyone's going to be paying any attention to him right now.
There's over 6 players landing at Happy Hamlet, but we're jumping right into this battle right here. Unknown Army, who has had the time to prove to the world that he is here to bring the heat. Early on in our competitive days, Unknown Army was known at the time to take over, Bogan.
This is it, man. Unknown Army, one of our first controller players. Actually, he was our first controller player to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup. Perhaps this is going to be the opportunity that he was looking for, Monster. Put himself on this stage, get a big opportunity. Things have slowed down here for a moment. He's looking to take that route and get possession of that, get it on out. That's Commandment. Commandment's going to be sitting at the top 5 if I'm correct currently. Good fight here between 2 quality players.
Not a battle he wants to lose. Lots to prove here. Unknown Army, one of the few controller players in it. We saw Wolfies have a big day yesterday. That wall's his. He's got the aggro. The last one is not, though.
He's charging right in, and Commandment's going to have to get out of there. Didn't want to deal with that player. He knew the Unknown Army just had that beat on him wisely enough, and look at the health there. That's why Commandment does not want to go for that fight. He's going to be in dire straits right now, as Unknown Army does have the life lead. That's why Commandment does not want to go for that fight.
He's just taking all of these corners, too. He's gaining control slowly but surely. Nice little peek right there. He goes for the staircase first. So clean.
Doing this all with a controller. You know, we have millions of players that play on controller at home, and he goes in, does apply white damage. One more, that's gonna do it. Commandment was in 3rd place, and Unknown Army now made him put in the place that he wanted him to. Dominant.
And a little taunt to throw some salt on the wound right there. Now hopping to the other side of the map, we have Blaster looking for a vehicle. He does have a baller. His main priority right now is metal and boots.
Take a look here. We got Martine. He's got eyes on a target. Also using his Sky Stalker skin. One of my personal favorites. Charges forward with that drum gun. Close range, but no! It was Low Boom who gives him the hands there. Fun fact, Christian, our boy from Fortnite VR Live, told me, look out for Low Boom. Someone to definitely take eyes on. They did eliminate one another, though. So Boom, not in this one. Maybe someone to find some better luck in games 4, 5, and 6.
That is the risk you take when you jump into someone's box here in the Fortnite world. Leshy, another controller player, bringing it back to the good old nostalgic Tilted Towers for that close-range PvP. He's going to get shot a few times right there, but still keeping his cool. He has plenty of extra shields and mobility. Shockwaves are going to be great. Maneuvering around this congested area. That's what it is. 4 players in Neo Tilted right now. You have to be careful.
This is a controller battle, actually.
That's what it is. 4 players in Neo Tilted right now. One another here. Leshy's probably looking to take this wall. He's going to break into the building now. Get that high ground over his opponent. Astonis is just waiting, not making a sound here, seeing if he can bait Leshy into a trap play. Let's see. He's going to fall for it. Will he make a mistake? And that's really what it is, right, Golden?
Yeah, it is. When players are on that stage here in the audience, the crowd, everyone cheering, there's obviously going to be that added pressure. We talked with a few of the players before the game started today. The number one thing that I think everyone brought up to me was just the volume, the sheer presence of where we are. And some of them even went as far as to say, yeah, I don't think I'm going to look up at all. I think I'm just going to focus on the screen. That's what I know. No reason for me to try and go above and beyond anything else, right? Sometimes the moment can take you away.
You can see both points of POVs right here, both points of views.
Yeah.
They're looking to take any walls that they can just to gain control, have a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, this is basically like the Fortnite equivalent of an arm wrestling match right now. Maybe for some of our parents who are joining us here for the first time, haven't watched Fortnite before. They're really just struggling to try and get positioning over the other player. That is the struggle that they're wrestling with here. See, get worked out well.
All right, Lesh this time has decided to commit. He is now down face to face. There's nowhere Astonish can run it. He goes into it.
Oh,
lands the 2-shot, and that's the little tactic right there. If there's a ramp in front of the wall, you have to recognize you are in big danger because there's a nifty little trick to get you in that box.
Another one of my favorite players here. You got Legendian. He's going to be in a fight right now. Side loses the high ground. Oh, man. That is rough. He's going to be in a fight right now. Not having the best games at this point in time.
Pizza's placed 8th on average when he qualified in the online opens. On average, across every game he loaded into. That's very high for placement. And now he's picking up elims. Unfortunately, like we said here, Dan's just not really connecting the dots today, but it's not over yet. We're only halfway through this competition here.
There's Leshy who has to get out of there. Whew, that could have been very dangerous, but gets an elimination on Kinstar. A massive elim here for Leshy, who's sitting right now at 2 elims currently in this battle at Neo Tilted.
Representing for all the controller players across the world, Leshy, very dangerous. It's going to be a huge upset right there.
And you just get close range with a player like Leshy, and they'll punish you, right? When you have the controller, you have that little bit of the ability to just L-trigger. You're going to have, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, L-trigger, low, whatever. But the reality is, right, you got the full use of your arm. They have the use of your thumbs. But when you push in for there, you just don't want to box with them inside of that. It's very rough to deal with.
Maybe Ruck said it best, you know, just the age difference. Leshy's 15, you know, could just be a little faster than Kinstar here.
Yeah, I know, when I was 15, I was
maybe Ruck said it best, you know, just the age difference.
And I competed for a very long time.
Just be a little faster than Kinstar here.
Yeah, I know, when I was 15, I was just in this fight here. The moment, he does get ownership of the wall because that player does disengage above him. And he hears that movement here all around. You also get an eye on the bottom right of your screen. You can see the mini-map, where players are going to be located. The player we're typically on is going to be that white triangle, but that blue triangle, that other player goes right in for the fight, is going to knock down the shield just a little bit there. He's going to have minis to be able to top himself back up. That blue triangle, that other player goes right in for the fight, is going to knock down the shield just a little bit there.
Yep.
Shockwave. Yeah, you don't want to go for that fight. Shockwaves are so important. Players saving them for that late game. And in some cases, they'll just use it, disengage. You don't want to take a fight. There's no reason for you to do so. A lot of players playing cautiously, as they should, with what's on the line here. But Crew, oh, he marches forward. That's number 2 for Crew.
You can see the excitement there. Nice little smirk and grin on his face. He throws a peace sign to the crowd when he takes that player Lucky right out. This Happy Hamlet area is so dangerous to rotate through. You have players like Mr. Savage. Now we see Left Eye and Kurtz. This Happy Hamlet area Left Eye was responsible again for a big upset in the last game, taking out the likes of some huge names towards the end game. But Kurtz here with a heavy sniper. Can he open up a base here and follow up with that infantry rifle? Huge names towards the end game, but Kurtz here with a heavy sniper. Little peek on right here.
I think Ninja yesterday had talked about the infantry rifle, how good that weapon is, and it truly, I mean, the accuracy that you get out of it is absurd. It's something that if you pick it up and you know how to use it, you'll be deadly out there in the field, which he has done a lot of times, Ninja, which is why he likes that weapon so much. And I don't understand why a lot of our players will go for that as well. You have the option to, why not? If you got that comfortability with it. Then you got Left Eye. 2 eliminations currently. Has 2 shockwave nades. Why not? You got that comfortability.
And you know, you got to give some respect to Left Eye, who completely left his previous job 6 months ago to fully focus in on competitive Fortnite. And he found himself at the Fortnite World Cup stage. I don't think it gets any better than that. That is a dream story here.
In competitive gaming, you take those risks if you want it so badly. If you want it more than you have to breathe. You just go for that moment. You never know what's going to happen. This could very well be a lot of the people in this arena next year playing on that stage. You never know what's going to happen. Just say that they had the budget, so I'm just going along with what he said.
All right, but here we have Tfue playing his classic high ground. All right, but center map more or less. He does have a lead for the next zone.
Yep. Movement options for him, which in the last game he had the Shadow Bombs. Didn't really pan out for him because King, very thirsty, went for just all the water he could possibly get out of that one. And I say he certainly was very quenched in his thirst. But then Tfue, now this is, sometimes you're flying and then you just become a magnet, and that is unfortunate.
It's Clarity G who picks up Tfue, unfortunately right there with one wall open from behind him.
That's so difficult. That's so difficult. There are times you fly into the sky and then the entire server just looks right at you.
It's all about timing of Fortnite here, but it's the risk you take. So now looking at Link here. Link putting some pressure up above. Remember, Storm Surge is in effect in these games, so you have to be hyperactive. You have to be proactive for seeking for damage. But when you commit to battle, you are more than likely going to have to finish that battle. Seeking for damage. Here we have Robabs kind of looking up. He's holding that edit though. He is ready to open it up. I think he's going to trade fire as soon as Link goes for the shot. Now they're both, they're both playing that little mind game right here. Who's going to go first now? As soon as Link goes for the shot. Now they're both, they're both playing that little
active
mind game right here. Who's going to go first now? This is what we like to call a shambles loadout, as Link doesn't have much loot.
No, doesn't have much loot, doesn't have much HP either. He's going to have to try again in the next game. Robabs does manage to get the better. He's going to have to try again in the next game. This is intense. Now we're at 62 players remaining. Some players taking fights, others really just focusing on staying alive. Staying in this one to the placement points.
That's right. Now we have Leshy, back with Leshy. We saw him in Neo Tilted, taking out the likes of Keemstar, Astonish in these 1v1 battles. Clearly not afraid to jump in your box. And oh man, with a loadout like this, 6 shockwaves. 3 launch pads, all the ammunition in the world, and zone favor right now. With a loadout like this, he is looking very good in game 3 right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of builds. He's got tons of stuff to work with. No reason why Leshy can't make it to that end game. This is going to be interesting. Controller player. Let's not forget yesterday, Wolfie's controller player getting second place here in the Fortnite World Cup Duos competition, along with his teammate Rojo. There's Lechido applying the pressure. With that shockwave nade, he gets right on top of a nice spot, nice position, kind of planning himself, understanding a player's going to be around there, but now all these players looking right at him as he just has to play defense, no choice. Gets tagged up a little bit, loses some of his shields. He'll be okay for the time being.
The amount of players you see on the stadium side that once he showed his self to that angle right there and everyone just collapsed on him, that is so scary. And it's still coming in, but he's fending himself off, punishing another player off to the east side right there. That is so scary. And it's still coming in, but he's fending himself off. He can figure out that that player is the same one that just tried to make a move on him. Spell disaster for Evil Mare.
Evil Mare doesn't have much to work with regarding health, right? He's sitting at just above half HP. Right above him is going to be Clash. Got pieces as well. Down low on the flooring. He's sitting at just above half HP. Good loadout as far as weaponry is concerned. Also has that glider. With the HP he has currently, good loadout. I want to take advantage of Shadow Bomb or something like that rather than exposing yourself to the sky. But this is another play from earlier on, I believe. Actually, no, Storm Surge active currently, and we are in line. Apologies there.
So he's sitting on 2 ballers here. You see one here. He knows his opponent's gonna have to go for one, but I guess a little bit of scouting there is gonna realize someone's waiting, baiting all of the loot as well.
Also off screen, Leshy did take out Evil Mare. You mentioned that before, Monster. Ended up happening. And Storm now, 65 HP. Where is this player that went in for a fight?
It's Wakey. Wakey's right nearby. Storm and Wakey are sitting now in the zone here. Biding time here. Wakey, 3 eliminations, tied up for the most elims in the game so far. You have Wakey, Leshy, and Aspect, all at 3 eliminations so far. Tied up for the most elims in the game so far.
Just under 50 players remaining in game number 3. Players have boxed up. They want to play this slow game. Wait for anyone to make a mistake. It's going to be hard, but for some players like Dubs, they're going to need it. Because thus far, it has not gone well for, I would say, one of the favorites here.
Dubs did go for the shot. Unfortunately, could not connect. It looks like Clarity's going to pick up Core Gaming there instead. Dubs, we saw in the previous game, do that baller all the way to the end game. Really playing slow and methodical here. You can't stand still. Dubs has definitely found himself a target nearby.
You see some, I think they're just looking at each other. They know exactly what's going on. Circle's going to be closing down now. We're going to find out where the next one is. And that's when players start to prioritize these rotations and movement. Dubs does have a baller, which has been his strategy. He did it in game 2. He had the ball pretty much all the way until the end there. Got shot out of it. But it did bring him to a 2nd place finish. Another top 3 finish for him, top 5, top 3, maybe even a victory royale, right? But ideally that
You tried to catch him right there. You saw that? You wanted to put him in the box for a second there and take it.
Grabbed him right there. Player will have no idea what to do at that moment.
It's actually pretty interesting as well because Class is desperate right now for an Elam. He has to really feed off of a Siphon. He doesn't have any other way to heal. Even taking the safety edits, making doorways so that he doesn't expose himself even for the slightest bit.
84 builds left for Class. Tons of builds here. And then the Storm. Now the Storm's starting to push. Look at Lechi. Still going for shots as players are moving about. I think I saw a player get right in his face. He did pop that Shadow Bomb. Now we're going to game 1 winner, Booga. He's got 420 damage in this match. Hasn't taken a single shot. 1 elimination for him right now. As now the action feed begins to fall. You see so many names getting eliminated one by one. Bizzle out of this one. That was from Lechi, who's having one heck of a game, taking out some big names. Getting eliminated
It is really going down right here. You can just kind of breathe in this overhead view right here. Bella EU doesn't even realize he has the high ground right now. Clarity G just nearby as well. Bugga at the upper layers in this end game, just trying to avoid that lower ground congestion. All these players are just slammed in the middle right here. As Andretta gets the high ground, we haven't seen much of Andretta so far. You got to be careful. Those shockwaves will really sting and take that placement from you.
Yeah, he has been laying low so far, but does manage to maintain the high ground. Lost it for a brief moment, but wisely enough went outside of the storm to regain some of those builds. On the right side of your screen, you got Bugga and Lecce. Lecce, a great game that he's managed to put together with 5 eliminations. Bugga, your game 1 winner, maybe looking to get a second win on the board. How massive will that be for your current first place player?
Lecce just picked up his 6th elimination now. He is really popping off right here.
Hoodjay too, a big player there, and a big connection for him. Lots of builds to work with. Bugga does get another one. That's Kinzel. Big player there.
Right through the trap he goes. Bugga, one of the superior box fighters in the Fortnite competitive scene right now.
Lecce went up for the high ground. If you see it on the left side, he went high ground. He does get possession of it, but ends up getting hit there by Andretta and finally eliminated. But what a run Lecce had in this game. Finally comes to a conclusion when he went for high ground. Now it's Bugga. Again, with 11 players remaining, we're about to get into the top 10 here, Monster.
Look at last we saw. He does get taken out right there. Unfortunately, it's Peter Pan who takes him out with 6 eliminations. Peter Pan, the dark horse right now. He's going to get wiped out here too, but it's still a great game. Wakey, who we saw leading in eliminations at one point, is still popping off as well.
Skype's in this one as well. Maybe he's going to get a back-to-back win. Riverson, he's got the high ground. He's got the explodes. He sees players. He has 11 builds, so he has to be very conservative with this. Does pop that player in the baller, forcing them down. Going in for the engagement now. More explodes. 5 remaining left. Player lands in front of him and tags him up for a lot of shields there. And Riverson has to reset. Needs to be careful not to get hit by that storm. Someone's going to be above him.
He's too good.
An elimination onto Skype. We're now sitting at a 1v1. 2 players left standing here. Who's it going to be down low? It's Dubs. It's Dubs down low. And Riverson has Dubs on his side. Who's going to get the win here? Riverson navigating, tarping. He has 7 builds remaining. Dubs trying to play defense, giving himself any kind of cover that he can possibly maintain. But Riverson, a few more explodes remaining. That could punish Dubs.
Really trying to keep him down to the zone here, Golden Boy.
Oh man, this is it. He sends another one out, and they're just telling him you gotta run. He goes into it. He's still holding position. Dubs has the high ground, but he gets in front of him, and Dubs gets a victory royale on the world stage.
Absolutely incredible for Dubs to connect. Finally hits all of his shots, and nearly a back-to-back performance right there. That is the kind of comeback story you want to see here on the main stage.
Prove to the world that you're the greatest to ever do it. But you gotta give credit to Riverson. Second place finish for him there. Had the high ground, had the explodes, but it was Dubs who managed to get the better of Riverson. And look at this unfold right here. Riverson has the rockets looking right at Dubs, and Dubs just needs to play defense. Riverson had no more builds to work with, and Dubs recognized he had the high ground. He just needed to go in there for the clothesline, and he nails it with that green pump.
That is the name of the game. You cannot miss your shots when you fully commit. Dubs and Mega sitting side by side. What a better player to have nearby you. Arguably probably his best friend right here in the competition.
Hey man, that was nuts. What a game from Dubs. What a journey he's had. 4-time qualified. We know that he is a unit when it comes to solos. Finally getting that win. So second place in game 2. Game 3 gets first place. He has to be feeling very good about that.
That is the kind of performance he was looking for, and it must feel good to finally solidify a victory over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, it's like it's just a load off your shoulders, man. Honestly, because I've been talking to him quite a bit. He's like, I just want to get this win. Now with that, Dubs goes up to 3rd place. At the top, though, Skype, he managed to make it to the end game. as well as Booga. So, our 3 winners, 1, 2, and 3, in the order of which
they took their victories.
Game 1 was Booga, Game 2 was Skype, and Game 3 was Dubs. 19 points, 1 point shy of taking second, and Booga, way to hold on to that positioning at the top of the mountain.
King is still here too, as is Psalm, as is Commandment. They've all been in the running, but that was a great fight to see the West and the East clash in those final moments.
I love it, man. I love it. Another, we look here at 11th through 20th. Epic Whale, Quexy, and Issa all managed to get up in the standings here, as well as Left Eye and Wakey. Oh, what a game that was. Game 3 did not disappoint, but I did get word that we have Dubs standing by with Jordan Fisher to get his thoughts on that win. Game 3 did not disappoint.
A massive, massive victory royale for Dubs here. A definite crowd favorite. A lot of people really excited to see you play today. 2 games in a row, 1v1 situations. Obviously, you're playing for placement here, and we're seeing this action happen in real time. Your baller maneuverability, you're staying in the baller for so long. Obviously helped you win that right there at the end. Yo, the Rockets are coming down a new hard. What are you thinking in this moment? You're trying to get high ground. What's going on?
Last game, I was just purely playing for placement and try to hold out in the ball, and it worked.
Obviously, we got that victory. Okay, going into these next matches, you're sitting in a pretty great position right now, if I could say so myself. What are you thinking? What's strategy going into this right now?
I'm just going to keep trying to play consistent, and I should be good.
Golden Boy, Monster D-Face, it's feeling amazing down here. How's it feeling up there?
I think the feeling's mutual, my friend, because these have been excellent games. I love duos, right? You and I, we talk about all the time, right? We love casting duos, but there's just something special about when it's just you, the game, solos, competition, the way Battle Royale was meant. Dare I say, to quote Dr. Lugo, the ultimate Battle Royale experience.
There's just no room for error in solos. There's no, buddy there, no battle buddy to come pick you up when you get dropped, when you get sniped for making an error. You cannot make a mistake. And we saw this happen earlier today. Dr. Lugo is not.
He's not.
Hey, dad fam out there.
He's just a little elderly. That's all.
We saw this happen earlier today.
So, what a game that was. And I understand, though, we actually have Cam standing by with a special announcement. Sundown, what's up? What a game that was.
Thank you.
I understand, though, we actually
Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Monster. And while we're here in the midst of the largest Fortnite event in history, you're probably wondering what comes next. Well, as we said before, competitive Fortnite isn't going anywhere. Once Season 9 wraps up and we move into our next season, we'll be debuting the Fortnite Championship Series. This will give players a chance to compete against the best of the best, where every single result matters. With a leaderboard to track results over the course of the season, follow your favorite players on their quest to become the first season champions with millions of dollars at stake. Now, this is just a taste of what's to come, as we also plan on stepping up our competitive efforts across the board. So, keep your eyes peeled for more news as you root on your favorite competitors in the back half of the matches. Golden Boy, Monster, back to you, gentlemen.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't even know that was coming. Oh, look at you. That was pretty dope. Fortnite Championship Series?
Can I just say, did you hear that? Every placement matters. Wait, is this something you guys have been wanting or something like that?
Oh, this is awesome stuff there. It's obviously not going to stop, and we're glad that that is the case. But focusing on what's at hand right now, Fortnite World Cup Finals here in New York City. And just a reset here. I'm Golden Boy along with Monster D-Face, and this has been quite the day. 3 games so far did not disappoint. In Game 1, we ended up seeing a huge victory from Booga, who managed to pull it away in glorious fashion. And then Skype in game number 2, just outpositioning Dubs. But Dubs got his redemption and picked up a Game 3 win just now. He said with Jordan that he wanted to remain consistent. He's been playing baller play. There's a lot of strategies that players can implement here in competitive Fortnite.
Yeah, you saw Dubs, Game 1, tried to get a little bit more aggressive, opting in to take that fight over by the Greasy Lake, and it did not pay off. So he took his lesson, took his little, spanking, I dare say, right there. He said, all right, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from that guy. You got to respect him on that rotation. He switched it up, and now he's finding himself in endgame. And that is the kind of adaptability you have to have as a Fortnite professional.
Yeah, it's necessary. necessary. 4-time qualified solo player is Dubs. And what I mean by that, when he qualified the first time for this event right here, he queued up again. Each week the solos competition was available.
Did again.
And did it again. And then did it again. And then did it again. That's how good he was. Everyone doubted him. No one knew who this kid was. And then he shocked the world. That, my friend, is undisputed. But the next game is going to start up. Game 4 about to begin. New York City, come on, let me hear you. It's about to start. It's about to kick off. These players need your energy. The battle bus is getting loaded. Look at everyone in the stands. What about that Marshmallow concert earlier today? Incredible stuff, that live performance from him. You love to see it, but this has been a wild day thus far.
Now the question is, can Bugha, Skype, and Dubs continue to hold their lead? We saw King fall out of the running last game, and it set him back 4 placements.
That's right. That's right. King is going to be someone we have to keep a keen eye on. Not a king, keen eye on.
Keep a king eye on him, too, because
sure, why not?
A king out there.
He really is, man. I think someone on the Fortnite competitive Reddit said, if you have that name and you take out a player like Tifu, you got to live up to it.
That's right.
You got to live up to it. But there's the standings once again to get you all up to speed. Bugha still holding on to his first place position. Skype and Dubs right behind him. Dubs behind Skype by 1 point only. And this is the spread of the island thus far. Paradise Palms. Some players are going to start to land over there in just a little bit.
Dude, Frosty Flights, what is going on there? I see 7 arrows or so just outside of where Dubs is currently positioned. Dubs, our last match winner, in great fashion. You can see he's playing the crack shot house here, where tons of chests spawn.
I'm also noticing over at the block, I saw another player there. I did not expect that, another body by the block, but he ended up disengaging out of there. And Clarity G off screen, Legend as well, going to be some of the first to fall in game 4.
Nice little fun fact, 46 of 68 points were scored in the online opens through Dubs placement strictly. So he definitely knows how to get to endgame. We already know him as one of the most mechanically gifted players, especially with this duo partner Mega, who, by the way, they're both qualifying. One of the only teams that are full qualified.
And sitting right next to one another as well, as you saw when Dubs picked up the win. His first person to congratulate him, his teammate, Mega. Now, Rux. There you go. That's what I want out of Rux. At the start, Arkrum. That is a big elimination. Shaking the head, shaking the head. There you go.
Feels bad, man.
Oh,
when friends collide. Ouch.
Yeah, that is a rough one. Then you got Nix and Niddle. Nick's a Brazilian player. He was clinical during the qualifiers. Always seeing him in the top 10 each and every week that he played. Everyone in the region, everyone in the Brazil region knows how good Nix is. There's one player right below him, and maybe Niddle is going to experience that for himself. Nix does have that life lead here. Will have that shield advantage. Niddle a little weak on the HP side as well.
So Nix is here to show why he's the first qualified solo and duo player from the Brazilian region. There's only a few players who have the title of being fully qualified or double qualified for the competition here. Nix is one of them. There's only a few players who have the title of being fully qualified or double qualified.
Niddle does have the high ground. He goes in for the challenge, and that's Nix doing it for the region, doing it for Brazil. More cowbell, please.
Nix versus Niddle. Nix comes out on top. He wiggles his finger at the camera and says, no, no, not today. Snobby Shores is his home here.
And the good news is he won't get eliminated right away.
His finger at the camera and says, no, no, not today.
I love you, buddy.
No instant karma for him.
No instant karma for him.
Get him off, buddy. No instant karma. Few players representing the Asian region here.
Japan as well, 15 years of age. Got a lot of great players from Japan that have joined us in New York City this weekend.
Tons of young competitors. We saw a great performance from Sinnoh and O-King yesterday, but Let Wyken Twins, they've really been going at it here and in Paradise Palms.
The only players here, so the winner of this one's going to take it all. 7 builds for Let Wyken currently. HP, little dire. Twins also going to be in a rough spot too, and won't get an opportunity to be able to pop that big potion there. Unless he goes for it. Okay, he's making it happen. He's going for the big potion pop, and he does get it. That's going to give him a slight advantage in this fight.
The difference was no hesitation here as Letwike is going back in it, even with the health disadvantage here.
Oh, that shield's going to be gone out of that one monster. Let does go up above him, and no! Twins got caught looking, and that's Let who will benefit with that Chug Jug.
I'll tell you this, so much confidence. Confidence is key when it comes down to these PvP battles. He just went all the way. He was committed, and he was, you know, hell-bent on getting the win there. But Ghost Issa, we haven't seen any Shifty Shafts action all weekend long. Good to see Ghost Issa here on the main stage, as he deserves as much love as anyone else. What's he gonna do? How's he gonna represent for himself and his fans?
Cross-regional battle here between Moffin and Issa. Moffin from Japan, putting this region on the map, perhaps. Issa, well-known player in the space. He's been at this for quite a while. Off screen, you just saw King's name in the action feed against T. Another shot, actually. Issa getting third party. And sometimes when you're in these fights, you just don't expect when another player, they're gonna hear the gunfire. So they're gonna try and push the fight, maybe get an advantage out of it. And then it's Mega! Mega marches on in and gets the better of Issa. Now it's gonna have to deal with Moffin. Does not have that floor quite yet. Moffin's holding it down. Does he get the half through? Moffin goes in for the fight, but that's gonna be another one. Number 2 for the Mega Man.
We wanted some Shifty Shafts action, and we got it right there. They are just unfortunately in the warpath of Mega. He lands right outside of this area. Good on him to rotate and catch him off guard. Here's a nice little replay from
That was
King taking out Teak.
Yeah, the King elimination on Teak. Huge for him.
All right, Unknown Army. We touched up on him in his past earlier today. At one point, he was actually somewhat shunned out of the competitive discourse for being too aggressive. Little did he know that was the perfect way to find himself here at the World Cup stage, because it was all about pushing players and getting eliminations.
Has their strong opinions on within the competitive community.
I'll tell you this, he came right back as being everyone's, you know, favorite friend all of a sudden.
That's good. That's good. The competitive community. Obviously, it's you know, this is a competitive game that is still continuing to evolve and grow. Players, you know, trying to learn one another's personalities and stuff. I understand we do have a replay though from one of the other eliminations that had happened earlier on. This is Pika. Look at this, Pika jumping forward, finds one in front. That's the third party, and this player now having to look at Pika, but that was nasty. Pika made him pay.
Was a quick two-piece chicken nugget, and Aqua was a part of it. That's so unfortunate. Aqua's really been struggling so far in the solo competition, but I'm sure it's a breeze for him now, being that he had such a huge day yesterday. But jumping in with Zayt here.
Right now, Aqua's playing with house money. That's what we like to say. Huge performance from Zayt yesterday, but unfortunately for him, not going to be the case in Game 4. Hood J, his first elimination is on to one of Fortnite's greats, Zayt. The fight continues against Dracons.
Artillery strike right here, and Dracons is going to have to back up here. Hood J is going to get a moment of peace, because he's in the lowest level. He doesn't have to worry too much here. Dracon's trying to axe his way through the middle, and he's trying to look right there. That's his loot, respectively, if he can snatch it really quickly. But no, he's more focused on this battle right now.
And
sets up a code as well.
And Dracon's, you know, from the Brazilian region, so there's this aggression. That's what they do. They'll go after the fights, and they want to get in your face. They don't care. From the Brazilian region, so no matter what region you're from.
Absolutely loving the rhythm right now. He's really messing with the cadence of his axes, but he's going to get punished. And now he's the one who's on the defense right here as he backs up and takes the defensive stance to go ahead and heal.
Doesn't have any shields, no minis, unlike Hood J, who has 2 more remaining.
Takes the defensive stance to go ahead and heal. He's got all the mats now.
No minis, got everything to work with. Sometimes you gotta go, just farm up, pick up as much as you can, or maybe even disengage from a fight. It may not be worth it. It's okay to disengage. play the safe game. There's no reason that you got to get aggressive, get in their face. We understand that is what the region likes to do. But in this instance, play the safe game. Playing for the long game.
I talked with Macwood and Calculator, the Players Lounge, for a while. I asked him, what do you do if someone disengages? Do you respect a good disengage? He says it depends, you know? If both of you guys are in a weird situation, they'll give it up. Do you respect a good disengage?
No reason for you to go for a fight that you're just not comfortable with. Crew, though, he's looking for a fight right now. Has his player playing a little defense, but he ends up getting tagged, and now it's going to be him on the back foot. Has to take a moment. Pop a mini.
It's the best case scenario for him because he still has lights here. He did not lose normal health points. It was just his shield that was ripped off there because he still
Two quality players right now scrambling against one another. Pika, get rid of the trees so that you can get above. You also get a little bit more resources out of this. Perhaps. It's right in front. Oh, man. Later on the corner there. And then Pika. He just had that brief moment to move away. Saw him move ever so slightly down low. Just saw the tip of his head. He just had that brief moment to move away.
It's an intense battle. Pika versus Crew. Crew, a double qualified competitor here. Didn't play in the duels competition yesterday. Crew, of the two, he's the one who just goes in. It's not the IGL. Let's see how he can handle himself here when just playing solos now. And he's in the zone. He's found himself in the zone.
Yeah, they're going to get ticked for one in the zone, and they're pretty far from it.
Doesn't want to play off that camera angle, but he's going to chuck a brilliant grenade right there. It's going to open up the box.
Now you're inside of the Storm Monster. What do? You're engaging in this fight. You're losing health little by little. What's the play now? Oh no!
Got the med kit, but he couldn't connect.
The play was just to go for it. Pika gets the better, but he's going to continue to take for health. Does have a launch pad though. Can fly back. He's really far from the safe zone.
And I just gotta say, that was Crew's game to win. He managed to turn it around and get that right camera dominant angle back, and he could have had it at that moment, but Pika's prime positioning put him over the ramp. Lost sight of him, let his guard down, and got punished.
And this is from Pika's perspective and how he got the better of Crew. With the burst SMG, the weapon that I happen to favor quite a bit. I like it, although I do like to set myself up for failure sometimes, so I'll pick up the burst SMG. It won't really end that well for me, but for these players here, they know how to take advantage of each item in Fortnite. They're so good at really working with what's in front of them. Now the format, as we mentioned before, we're pretty far from it, okay? So when you get to 25th place, that's when the placement points start to tick. But each elimination is going to give a crucial point. These have been some low point games. If you watch the online qualifiers wondering, man, we're seeing players getting 60, 70, 80 points, even 100 in some instances. Those are the online qualifiers, a different format. These are the best players in the world going against one another. The gameplay is going to slow down just a little bit as they all fight for the position.
Yeah, this is definitely that time in the game when everyone kind of positions up and the heavy congestion begins, but King doesn't care about that because he's King. He's looking for a fight, and arguably the worst zone to fight in, approaching zone 4 and 5 here.
He's a savage. He's a savage. He does not want anyone else to sit up upon that throne. It should only be him, but it's okay. Sometimes you don't have to be that thirsty. You can move away. That player popped that ramp in front of him. It's okay. He gets out.
Look at this, look at that. That was so brilliant. He changes his angle there. He says, you know, I'm not going to use this side. I'm going to go around and start collapsing in on you, just losing or pushing that player out in uncomfortable ways. I'm going to go around and start collapsing in on you. Just master at finding angles here. He's just looking for the best way to break apart his opponent right now, and he's really playing mind games. Now, suddenly, this guy doesn't know what side he's safe on. He's losing all forms of real estate right here. Really playing mind games.
King, he just constantly wants to be in your face. He's done it in each game that has happened. He always seems to just know where everyone is. Like that is a trait that, you know, a lot of the players that are up here, they do have it, but in this South American region like this, where there have been obviously not a lot of players coming out of this for this particular tournament, I think King has put this region on the map without a doubt. Not a lot of
He is truly representing here. King's tracking is phenomenal. He's still keeping track of Tuesday here. Now deciding he's going to replenish some materials and refortify all of this area. Sanctioning to himself here. This is why he's in the running in the top 10 here. We saw him get taken out earlier before, but this is why he plays the high risk, high reward. If I'm being honest, that's how you take first place. You put it all out there and
go
hope
big or go home.
Everything goes in your favor, honestly. Being honest,
go big or go home.
You put it all out there and hope
big or go home.
Fight in your favor, honestly.
Over on the mountain there. Tuzi's next to him as well as Keemstar. And King, he's gone. He's flying over to the next target here.
He just doesn't stop. Into another box fight he goes. And now he's going to reposition here and set up for the prime push.
This is ridiculous.
Look, he's still going.
He does not care, people. King wants to jump into your box. It's that box now! Oh, what a beast! What a beast!
He's not here to play. Laser's gonna go down.
Bow down.
We thought Booga was one of the best box fighters. Hold up, it's time to do some reviews here, because King is putting himself on the map here.
All I want, Bala, if you're listening, I just want you to do a VOD review of King. Okay?
Get us a VOD review, please.
Hopefully we can just agree on that. Wild stuff, man. Gets the window. Boom, right to the face. Right to the kisser.
He's already looking.
What's wild about that fight, too, is a lot of players would have just stayed stationary in that position. Storm was coming in.
They would have been content with being somewhere safe.
He had a target and he just went right for it.
Incredible. Here we have Dubs now. Center zone. Still has a baller. Bucky still in the running here. Leshy also getting right next to Dubs. Also has a baller, so they're probably not going to get into too much of a battle, but who knows?
Maybe they'll be
Storm
baller
Surge
buddies.
is still a thing. Maybe they'll be baller buddies.
Maybe. But you're right, though, about the Storm Surge. You really are, because if you're not putting in damage, 0 eliminations for Leshy right now. How many fights has he actually gotten into? If you're not going to be above damage, 0 eliminations for Leshy right now. Minigun. That minigun goes right through your builds. Very powerful against structures.
Dubs, only with 2 eliminations, is actually the match leader, and that's because he's just pinging other players. Yes, just damage leader. And we just talked about Storm Surge. That's why you want to be proactive. You want to shoot at anything that moves. Realistically, you don't know when you're going to find yourself in that precarious situation where you have to push someone pretty much without wanting to.
And we were talking about this before we jumped on the cast. I think it was Zayt we were discussing. He's really good at not putting himself in a position, but still to get hurt, but still take shots. And Benji Fishy against Storm. First elim for him there.
Saw that, put the trap above his head through the window edit, opens it up and hits him with a pump.
First elim for now we're on his perspective. But as we were mentioning before, sometimes from a safe position, go for the shots. Go for the shots. Maybe you get a few hits. Damage perhaps, and King, he's taking fights outside as well.
King is still here to play Golden.
2 eliminations, 53 builds for him. Running with that blue combat shotgun. Great range on that item. Far away, though, from where the half-in, half-out circle is going to be. We're at zone 5 range on that item. This is when things start to get a little crazy. What does King have as an option here? Is he looking for people on the move and then punishing them? Maybe trying to get the community launch pad, perhaps, if someone throws that down? What is he looking for here?
It really wouldn't even surprise me if he's just looking for elimination to recap on materials right now, because he doesn't have enough to full tunnel across here. Knowing his playstyle, he's probably going to want to push here. And there it is. He actually found a launch pad, so his game awareness was at an all-time high here. Take a look here. Tfue, next to the replay right there, one of his first elims.
First point, as a matter of fact, against Kurtz. Tfue on the board. The King. What are the chances of that one? Yeah, the good old community launch pad right there. Great neighbors.
Paying attention to what's going on here.
Yeah, the good old community launch pad.
And Tfue make a big comeback for himself here. Paying attention to what's going on here.
A little concerned about that player who had edited out. And Tifu did have the mark on him. Guy though, you hate that one when you just get focused on so much. You're out and about trying your best to stay up in this game, and then everyone looks at you, and then Tifu again, he's doing damage, but he's not getting the elimination. Other people are siphoning those away from him.
Prison Arrow was just snatched from him. That's another point that unfortunately does not go his way here. He does have some shadow bombs though, so he will be able to make it to this next zone. He decides that he's close enough to try and tarp in, but now he becomes the target of the server because he's only building in wood here. He decides that he's close enough to try and
Take note of the structures being used. That will give you an indication as to where they are currently. Players do build around the 2-box metal, perhaps. That will give you metal the strongest structure. In case you're wondering, maybe you're watching for the first time, wondering what's going on here. Your Game 3 winner, Dubs. 2 eliminations, still has that baller, but it is a very weak baller. I mean, look at that thing, it is cracked up.
Not only that, he doesn't have health either. He is very, very weak here.
Very weak baller. I mean, look at that thing.
Has tons of materials though. He just has to play for placement to continue to hold this lead that he has right now on the competition. King gets taken out by Mongrone, fortunately, right there, and Bugga is still in the running here as he catches Quexy, and the kill feed is lighting up right now as players are dropping, and we're approaching placement points finally here.
We're getting very close to it, Monster. Once we hit 25th place, everyone's going to start to earn some points. Right at the side of your screen, 3 points for everyone. Still alive, but Dubs, and we mentioned it, that baller was in dire straits. It was not going to be able to survive another rotation, and neither was he with the HP that he had currently. Then the rotations, everyone's starting to move here. They have some shadow bombs, they're going to use those and get to the other side, get to the safe area, build around and protect themselves, and hope that they can continue to gain more placements as we take a look at the overhead.
That's right, he was holding his breath because he needed to get that top 25, and he didn't break it through in time. Everyone left in the game has already gotten placement points here, but you want to play for the next threshold. You want to continue to stay in this game here, as that's exactly what Tifu's doing with the Shadow Bomb, hopping around the builds here, trying to keep a low profile. Bizzle still in the running. One of the innovators when it comes down to tarping and pushing out with effective and clean builds.
Just one of the greats of Fortnite altogether. On the side, I was looking at this fight between Ruxin and Riversand. Riversand went for high ground numerous times, and Tifu gets eliminated by Mongrel. And then Rux has high ground, as you see on your screen to the left. Then you have Bizzle, still very much in this one. Takamura with more eliminations and earning placement points as more players begin to fall. And we're coming down to the final moments, Monster.
That's right, we are. And we're going to jump into Takamura's POV here because he has 4 eliminations and he doesn't plan on stopping. Neither does Magru, because Magru catches Benji Fishy as well. Taking a look here at Takamura. Tarping out. He is going to fall down and he's going to get shot a few times here. What he's going to do is he's going for the high ground. He sees an opportunity. It's his to take. Now jumping over with Magru's in the low ground. Drops another player right here. Is he going to be able to connect in full? Can he convert here? He does not.
So many players are landing in front of Mongrel here. Coming down to the wire. Top 9 remaining. 1 in front of Mongrel. Doesn't get the elim. He manages to just get away by the skin of his teeth. And now Mongrel gets up to the high ground. Maybe using this. If you keep jumping on the wall, you won't go out of the shadow state. He gets up top, but there's no one going to be there. There's a person all the way above him. Knocks the structure down. And the player does manage to catch himself and maintain the high ground positioning here. We have some great players still left in this game. But Mongrel with 4 eliminations is looking for number 5. And that was on Nate. We're now down to the final moment, the top 5 monster.
He had to fully commit there. Those are the maps that he needed. He's still in the game here. He's going to go all the way for it, and that's a trade out with the 109 to the face here.
Huge elimination on Takamura. We're into a 1v1v1v1. Top 4 players now. Mongrel in the ultimate low ground. Going up against the player. It's going to be Bugga. The game 1 winner will not be enough against Mongrel, who does get picked quite a bit. He loses a lot of HP. No more builds, but the victory royale goes to the veteran Som, who manages to pick up a massive win.
Using the shockwaves in the final moments to snatch the high ground, Som claims a victory, but it's Mongrel who had a ton of eliminations and really was the ruining factor for so many of our top 10 competitors in that round right there.
Mongrel was running roughshod in the ultimate low ground, but it's Sam, the vet. He has performed in so many competitions at a high level, and it's no surprise here. When Sam gets that high ground, everyone needs to look out. He's so good at that. Mongrel had no builds left. He had no HP to work with. He did the job he needed to do. Top 2. He got second place and a bunch of eliminations. And Shockwave's late game again, monster. Such a great piece of equipment that you can use.
Love that right there. Stands up, flexes, hits us with the let's go. He's feeling good. And that's a huge accomplishment to take a victory. And just you only have so many opportunities to win a game here. Just to do that alone, it's magnificent.
Yeah, it really, magnificent is the best word that I could think of at those final moments. Games 3 and 4 certainly did not disappoint. That was a wild game. Here are the standings though. Booga still holding on to first place. Look how far ahead he is. 8 points currently, but Sam now jumps in to second place. Nate in third. Riversand, who's managed to put together some great games, is in fourth. Rux as well. Epic Whale in sixth. Skype and Dubs get knocked down to 7 and 8. And King, who has been very aggressive, is in ninth. And then Peter Pan from South Korea in 10th place.
Doing so good. The last player we saw in 11th place, Epic Whale, shot himself up to that front page, guys. So don't count out Andretta, Benji, Savage, or anyone else here in the top 20 because they have what it takes. Look at how close the point threshold is.
Yeah.
Everyone is in the running for top 10 right here, and that's life-changing prize on the line here. The stakes are so high.
Yeah, the gap is so small, and these players have the capability of being able to get into the top 10. 2 more games remain. Wonder who's going to take it all, but let's go down to the stage. We got Jordan standing by with our Game 4 winner song.
And a huge Game 4 win for Sam. Now sitting at second place in the standings. Feeling really good right now. We're just talking about that high ground take. You said I didn't think that it was going to work, but real domination right there at the end. What was your thought process going up against such a stacked final 10 people? I mean, some of the players that were there are all capable of clutching this up.
After I got the high ground, I was just focused on playing 10, make sure I don't lose the high ground, make sure the one in take my high ground, and then, I let everyone on the ground do their thing, and then I clean up.
The cleanup was real. Back to you, Golden Boy and Monster D-Face.
And then, I let everyone on the ground.
Always a pleasure to hear from Sam, veteran in competitive Fortnite, and doing it once again. No shocker there. You take the risk, you make the bold play, and sometimes it pays off. In that instance, it definitely did. He's coming out quite pretty from there. I believe was in second place, currently in the standings. That was a nutty game.
He's been in top 10 this whole time. Since the competition has begun, he's been chipping away at placement. And that last one was a huge victory for him. And that is exactly what he wanted and needed here to keep him relevant.
So many great moments in that game. And while we had a best seat in the house, there were some moments that maybe we didn't catch. And the good news is we got one of the best VOD reviewers in the game. Ball is standing by to break it all down.
Thank you so much, GB. Yes, we have 2 games remaining. And it looks like Sam and Booga repeating that first game success early on. They're going to move forward at the top of the leaderboard. But for now, we're going to take a look at some of Rux's performances and some of his shots that push him up to 5th. So while we roll these clips, Rux, in the end game, first, he set himself up brilliantly in the early game against Arkham. We've talked about Arkham a number of times. This duel has been going on every single game here. Rux takes the better of Arkham and gets the loadout that he needs to push on forward here with the infantry rifle and the combat shotgun and heals to boot. Only 1 mat remaining through this entire time. Doesn't quite get those mats after finding the elimination onto Core Gaming, so he's working through old structures here, other players' structures. And that's when you start going sneaky beaky mode. He stays crouched, make sure that no sound is coming through for that elimination onto Slaya. He had high ground in this position. A nice shot there onto Light. Unbelievable flick shot with the combat shotgun. And then this is when I believe it was somebody else took high ground here. Beautiful retake. It's Stompy. Rux brings himself up into 5th place with that. We'll see if he continues to climb. But for now, we've got 2 more games to go. Gentlemen, back to you. Into 5th place with that.
Thank you so much for breaking that down, Bala. Rux, who has been time and time again showing up in the top 10. We always see his name, whether it's solos or even in duos, along with his team in Pika. They always have great events. So no shocker there. But this is, what a wild ride, right? We've been on 10 weeks up until this point. All these players from around the world. I love looking at that top 10 as well, man, because it truly is a great international game that we have here with Fortnite.
Yeah, you saw it unfold. Like, who would have thought King would be the man to show up today and be, like, honestly, the energy for the arena here, because he has had some of the wildest moments so far in his journey through this World Cup weekend.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. It's been a wild ride here, but that's going to do it for myself and Master D-Face the Boricua, boys. There we go, brother. Always a pleasure to cast with you. Now we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Courage and Dr. Lupo take the stage one more time, and then we crown our Fortnite World Champion. We'll see you in just a few. Courage and Dr. Lupo take the stage one more time, and then we crown our Fortnite World Champion. We'll see you.
Hello, Fortnite fam. I am PookieFace_. I am joined here at the front of house with David, and we're going to talk a little bit about how all of these systems work, how we are bringing the Pro-Am, Creative Cup, and the World Cup to you guys this weekend. So David, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me here. What do all of these buttons do behind us? Tell me a little bit about what all of the technical things are here.
So basically this is controlling all of the lighting and all of the video for the entire show. We're pushing out all of the videos that you see on all the screens, any camera shots that go up there. And then we're also making sure that all the lights are at the right levels for player faces and everything else.
So it's your job to just make everyone look great, is technically what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that you have some facts about the lights, the LEDs. Give me a little bit of some factoids about how all of this production pulls power and, you know, what goes into all of this.
Absolutely. There's about 1,200 lighting fixtures in the room currently. We have about 18 4K video outputs to go to all the big screens. We're running about 98 million pixels worth of video space, and it's taking about 2,000 amps of power, which is about enough to run about 15 homes.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, introduce me to all of these working parts, but there are so many more things that go into all of this. So when you guys are out in the stands watching the World Cup this weekend, you have David to thank for everything. Out in the stands watching the World Cup this weekend, you have David to thank for everything.
Dub said, look, I've qualified. I'm just going to come back and just flex on literally the entire region. Dub said, look, I've qualified.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that you can be so consistently good in one of the major regions. The best of the best aren't concerned with just barely making it. They want to win every fight. They want every point. That's why he's in first. There's a reason he's one of the best solo players on the planet. They want every point. That's why he's in first. There's a reason he's one of the best solo players on the planet.
안녕하세요. 저는 이제 팩스폭스라고 하고요. 저는 아시아 서버에서 이제 뉴욕 진출했고요. 이제 나이는 17살입니다. 저는 이제 리크 1에서 이제 처음에 솔로 4연승을 해가지고 초반에 이 점수를 거의 다 따가지고 초반에 맘 놓고
4 victory royales, and he averaged 8 elims. Obviously, first place. That's unbelievable.
이제 아시아는 스크림 같은 게 없기 때문에 저는 연습을 제대로 별로 못했기 때문에 아마도 일단 운에 맡겨야 돼. 스크림 같은 게 없기 때문에.
Hi, New York City. Oh, okay, Factbox. I'll take you out for a good pizza. I know a couple good spots.
이제 한국에는 포트나이트 유저가 별로 없는데 응원하겠습니다. 한국에는 포트나이트 유저가 별로 없는데
Hey Fortnite fam, Ball2W here to get in the nitty-gritty of competitive Fortnite. The final circles in competitive Fortnite are packed tightly with both action and players, all fighting to get the victory royale. Let's introduce one of the most common techniques used to outlast your opponents in those congested final zones. What is tunneling? Also known as snaking or pathing, this is when you build a protected tunnel while running away from the storm and into the next safe zone. When these safe zones get so small, this becomes very, very important, as there can be opposing players on all sides of you. Here's an example of the most basic tunnel, the straight tunnel. From your base, you simply build straight towards your destination straight ahead of you, with the floor piece below your feet and above your head. This is the most basic and also dangerous version of the tunnel, since you're not covering horizontally. You're exposed from your sides. However, you save materials by doing this. The materials you spend covering your sides quickly add up. Then, if you need to go diagonally to get where you need to go, you'll often see players do the diagonal tunnel. At its most basic, it's very similar. You're just changing directions as you go, once left, once right. This is very useful since sometimes you'll encounter enemies that you want to get away from on the road to the victory royale, or the next safe zone is in a diagonal direction. So just change directions and move, but make sure to stay safe from the storm. Now we talked about how you're exposed from your sides. In both versions, you can add walls to either side, or both, left and right, or even in front as well. This gets really hard really fast, and this is why it's so impressive that not only are these high-level players tunneling so fast and without error, but at the same time going for crazy plays on unsuspecting opponents to rack up elimination points as well as placement points. It's a lot to take in, and oftentimes they do things so fast that you can't even keep up. Watching players like Cease, Bizzle, Mongrel, Benji Fishy, and all the players playing in the Fortnite World Cup Online Open play from their tunnels can be jaw-dropping. So there you have it, tunneling, one of the most important skills in competitive Fortnite. It's pretty simple at its core, but at the high pace of these congested endgames, it gets complicated. That means you need to practice, and make sure to hop in creative mode and do just that. You can practice it in the open on your own island, or use one of the many amazing pre-built training courses that creators have made. This was Ball2W, and we'll see you in game. Pre-built training courses that creators have made. This was Ball2W, and we'll see you in game.
My name is Turner, aka Tifu. I qualified from the North American East region.
This is not. Wait.
Trying to snake him in. Can he get him to drop?
What is that angle?
He hits all of the shots.
The day I qualified, I was pretty hyped. I didn't even believe it was real at the time. I don't know. I was just kind of streaming, grinding, doing my own thing, and I tried my hardest and succeeded, I guess.
Landing all the way up top, drops him. 100. Oh, on the shot. Literally reading my mind.
Succeeded, I guess.
Landing all the way up top, drops him. 100. On the shot. Literally reading my mind.
Succeeded, I guess.
Landing all the way up top, drops him.
He's a special player. A generational talent. He has qualities that not a lot of young players have. So mature, so dedicated. Has qualities that very rare to see. So mature, so dedicated.
안녕하세요. 저의 이름은 김도환이고 플레이어 닉네임은 뜨지입니다. 안녕하세요. 저의 이름은 나이는 그리고 14살입니다. 플레이어 닉네임은 뜨지입니다. 안녕하세요. 저의 이름은 나이는 그리고 14살입니다.
He's disciplined.
Jay drops down.
He's focused.
That was an ambitious play.
He wants to push it.
What a charge through the box in there.
That's what he needs to do to become the best.
What a charge through the box in there.
That's what he needs to do to become the best.
여기 간 다음에 제일 중요한 거는 이걸 타고 여기부터 먹어. 여기 간 다음에 요 지금 이쪽에
I'm Juno. I'm the coach for T1's Fortnite division.
페이터는 여기 안 밀어. 여기는 거의 완전.
I first met Jay when he was a free agent coach for T1's Fortnite. He's the youngest player in our team.
저는 포트나이트 선수로서 일선에 있는 아파트에서 팀원들과 함께 부산에서 생활하고 있습니다. 저는 포트나이트 선수로서 일선에 있는 아파트에서 팀원들과 함께 부산에서 생활하고 있습니다. 차이가 가장 많고 저희 팀원은 가족 같고 가족보다 뭔가 좀 더 끈끈하고 좀 더 위인 그런 팀인 것 같습니다.
The team really looks at Jay as the little brother that everybody wants to take care of.
저는 일어나자마자 바로 옆방에 있는 연습실에서 포트나이트를 할 수 있다는 거에 대해서 저는 일어나자마자 바로 옆방에 있는 연습실에서 포트나이트를 할 수 있다는 거에
His tempo is quite a bit faster than a lot of the other players.
Jay runs on forward.
아무래도 건설이라든지 편집이라든지 그런 부분이 좀 재미있어서이기도 하고 제 목표를 달성할 수 있기 때문입니다. 저는 포트나이트 게임을 시작할 때 이기자라는 목적으로 많이 시작합니다.
He wants to always be creative, always change up his playstyle and steal the tempo from his opponents. He wants to always be creative, always change up his playstyle and steal the tempo from his opponents.
여보세요, 엄마. 잘 지내시죠? 요즘 어떻게 지내세요? 네, 걱정 안 하셔도 돼요. 제가 여보세요, 엄마. 잘 지내시죠? 끝나면은 자랑스럽게 해드릴게요. 걱정 안 하셔도 돼요. 꼭 몸 관리 잘하시고 오디오 끝나면 바로 갈게요, 집으로. 네. 세계 최고 플레이어가 되고 싶은 이유는 아무래도 부모님인 것 같습니다. 가끔씩 부모님이라는 생각이 가끔씩 들어서 그게 동기부여가 되지 않나 싶습니다. 아무래도 부모님인 것 같습니다. 가끔씩 부모님이라는 생각이
Jay hasn't realized how talented he is just yet.
I am just so impressed with what I'm seeing here from Hood Jay.
He has that potential to become the greatest of all time.
I am just so impressed with what I'm seeing here from Hood Jay.
He has that potential to become the greatest of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. Millions watching across the world. On the biggest stage. Millions watching. Every single player out here, an absolute gamer, Jack. We've never seen anything like this. Best shadow bomb use I've ever seen! Mr. Savage M! I don't miss my shots. I don't miss my shots. He's the player there. Runs out in the store. Just finds him. Yeah!
Qualifying for the World Cup was a major step for me to actually help out my family.
I'm so happy we made it. This is literally like a dream. I was freaking out. It was awesome.